Tim here. We love comics, and we're here with the Comic Hall crew, baby. That's it. Number one, the Comic Hall crew coming towards you, and we're gonna keep coming, and we're gonna keep coming until there ain't nothing left. Oh yeah!
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is the Comic Hall crew with special guest heroes after dark in the building for part 2 of in Black History in Comics.
Yes.
Rico will be joining us a little later, but for now, panel, what is going on? Al, Puff, what's going on, everybody?
Great, man.
We know Al. We know Al.
Part 2.
Al been pulling double duty this week, you know, with the Factor.
Hey man, I got to do it. I got to do it for the culture, man, because we talk backstage, bro. This X-Men 97 is the best thing since the invention of fried chicken. So
God damn.
Well, I tell you what. Y'all just hold on and wait till y'all see this top 10.
Bro, hey man, just say this right quick. Everybody, I'm sure, is in consensus on this current panel that X-Men 97 is beautiful. That's all I'm gonna say, man. Yeah, so I'm ready to see that top 10 because I know it's gonna be some foolishness on there.
Oh man,
100% bangarang.
Before we get to that top 10, we gotta get to this Fantastic Five, or you must be out your damn mind. Oh, wrong shit. My bad. Click the wrong button. The wrong button. That is the right one. See, where is it? Oh, there we go. I see it. There we go.
You must be out of your goddamn mind.
But my prices are reasonable. What?
Oh, there it go. There.
X-Men theme. Here we go. There we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Hey, man. Look at him.
Is that just the box?
It's just the box. And the reason why is just, I mean, come on. This is just a blood slap in the face. They looking at the strength of episode 5 and 6 to sell that box. Man, they crazy.
Why
That's a damn shame.
Somebody bought one.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Click on the third photo. Oh, they bugging. They are bugging.
Maybe 40 to $50. Maybe.
Yeah, I know $137.
I was about to say, man, 25, 30. That's a
Larry was the one that bought it.
So through that.
Hey, you know what?
Throw your Gambit comics in there.
Yeah, Larry the one that bought it. Yeah.
Apollo.
I ain't gonna come with no X-Force, man, but it better come with that first appearance Gambit.
Oh, man.
I'll buy it if it did.
Which issue is that, Puff?
And the annual and 266.
I know, right?
Okay.
Give me both of them, damn
it. Good answer.
I definitely buy it then.
New Village, what's up? Whoa, what? Come on, man.
That's why we call it what we call it.
Come on, man.
They got to be doing this for the fun of it, bro. Like,
they are. They really are just saying, let's come up with a random ass number. Oh, 42,000. Throw it up there, baby.
They must want to get talked down to $7.
You know, it's so sad.
Yeah, come on now. And I'm not even a big Scotty Young fan, so that's a hell no for me.
That could be the exact price of their gambling debt.
Yeah, Scotty Young, art-wise, is an acquired taste, Paul. So, you know, he hit or miss for a lot of folks. I know some people who love him, want everything Scotty. I know some people who absolutely hate it. So,
when I was at Maycon years ago, he was there, and his line went around the whole back area. I was like, damn, there's a whole bunch of Scotty Young people here.
I'm I'm not gonna front. I like Scotty Young, but someone told me, and once they told me it messed me up. I can't look at it the same. Scotty Young ain't nothing but a rip off of Calvin and Hobbes. Fucked me up.
Yeah,
I was like,
you could definitely see the style of Calvin and Hobbes.
yeah,
for sure.
Messed me up till you said. I didn't even realize that till you said it.
Me neither, man. That's a deep revelation.
yeah, it messed me up. So every time I see Scotty Young, I'm just like, I guess
it might be a ghost draw.
Right. He just tweaked it a little bit, but yeah, I see it all day now.
Yeah.
Dang.
What is
Oh
that?
Lord, the T-shirt.
Come on, man.
Oh man.
We gotta stop doing this, people. Just because you have something that is old does not mean it's worth money, folks. Does not mean it's worth money. Don't listen. I'll be honest. I used to be the same way till I did my due diligence. Just because something is old does not mean it's worth any money. It can be junk.
Not only old, but old and worn.
Yes.
I mean,
that bitch was dingy, boy.
Some of them got them armpit stains on there. I'm like,
oh man.
No.
Yeah, this been worn to a Comic Con or two.
Oh, for sure.
Look at that collar. Look at that.
Man, they wore that.
They
wore that on a date to Sabaros, man.
Yo, that thick neck part, man. I just can't get with that. It's 2024.
No. Hey,
Apollo Crews.
We Florida guys, Florida and Georgia guys here. We don't need no thick necks.
That this shirt has been worn to Blockbuster
easily.
This shirt has been worn to Aladdin's Castle, Time Out, whatever that is. Shakey's.
Mm-hmm.
This shirt has been worn to Bilo. This shirt has been worn to Farmore. This shirt has been worn to Drugs for Less. Bilo, Piggly Wiggly, Win Dixie,
for real.
Right Aid.
Eckers.
He said Eckers.
Yeah, Eckers.
Eckers.
Kmart, Blue Light Special.
Circuit City.
Circuit City. Curtis Matthews, if you know. Curtis Matthews, if you know.
Hey, I ain't gonna say the obvious, but KB Toys.
KB Toy.
Oh man,
that's probably where they got it from. They probably ran an ad back in the day. You buy a Spawn, anything, you get a free Spawn T-shirt, or it might be one of them cereal box shirts.
Electronic Boutique.
Oh, that's my jam. That's my jam.
Software, etc.
Hey, this shirt's so old, man. Go back a couple of pictures to the tag before we started outsourcing everything to China. This junk was made in the USA, bro. That's how old this is, bro. This shit was made in the USA, boy.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that was after Taiwan.
Exactly.
Damn.
Hey, well, when you went to Walmart back in the day, they had no grocery section. It was just.
He wore it to the Cowboys versus.
Which one? Which one?
That's a fact. We had what, 4?
Yeah.
Oh man.
What was the one? Yeah, they wore it to the Whitney one. The one where Whitney did the national anthem. Was it Whitney at the Cowboys?
Shoot, no.
Or was
Hey, what them other shirts down there, man? Let's deviate to them shirts down there.
See, like if he would have had a price like that, it would have made a little bit more sense. But $800, he don't want to let that go.
That's
No,
a
you
shirt.
don't. That's what I'm saying.
That's like a skull cap.
Yeah, that's a shirt. The second picture shows the.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'm looking at.
Hey, look, made in the USA. It's the same one. Screen Stars Best.
Oh, what's that?
And
The
they showing you no pit stains. No pit stains.
Hey,
That's
you got.
always showing it.
Oh my God.
You know what? I can see someone buying this though. I can't even front.
At that price though.
Oh,
So they got best offer. Is it a best offer or is it as is? Can you negotiate?
You can make off.
Make an offer.
Yep. See that? Yeah, you can let that go. He'll get rid of that.
Hey, one week we got to come on, find the most outrageous price stuff, make bare minimum offer, and see what we get by the end of the show.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
That'd be funny as hell. I'm gonna go to that 42,000 and be like $1.
Oh my
Give
God.
him hope.
Oh my God.
Come on, man. 3,000.
Bro, those are 90s books, man.
And they not even showing no good pictures of the books, no nothing. What?
She trying to hide some of them.
Ugh.
Just a finger. That ain't right.
Look over there at the title.
Looking to sell for a good bit. Okay.
You ain't
She
gonna sell
bugging.
for that
They
price.
bugging.
These are all dollar books, man. from the
Dollar
90s.
dollar.
Books. Hey,
Damn
that's
dollar. What a
how you think I acquired most of these 90s DC books in the dollar bins in the late 90s.
These quarter
Okay.
books right here.
This is bad. This person got the audacity to have $1,000 for this shit. They're gonna bust hell wide open.
It's some old Apollo Creed shit.
So the hand come with the books. Nah, they can keep that hand.
The unmitigated gall. That's what you call this.
I don't need the thing in the box with books.
Yeah, they wild for that one.
Out of order.
Very much so.
For those coming in, make sure y'all hit that like button for us. Help a brother out, please, so we can get some traction here on the tube.
Hit the like button on all 3 of these streams.
Yeah.
Yes.
My channel and Heroes After Dark.
Everybody.
Yes,
Back.
sir. We going up tonight.
Yep. Rico is on the way. But until then, we're gonna keep it rolling right here.
I was right on time with this one. The audacity of it.
What? Hold on. What is that? A Punisher collection. Come on, man. They bugging.
Hey man.
Yo,
Play it.
let me get it up here. I know what we get ready to do.
Emotional damage.
Facts.
Hell no. To the no, no, no. Yeah, to the no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no.
Priest, all I do is sell coke, man. I don't do no violence. I don't mess with no fire. No
Listen at this nigga. Don't argue with me, man. I'm trying to give you a chance. No, you don't get me my money tonight. What the shit is this?
I had to drop them all on you for that.
Yeah, nah, for that price, definitely.
Hold on. Hey, we got one more. Got one more.
Gutter trash.
Got a track, yeah.
Man.
Shout out to Shelf.
Well,
it's somebody who overpaid for every last one of these books. They overpaid and they trying to get money. They're trying to get back in on it. They trying to get
How many 129s they got in that collection?
Yeah.
the one. I think it was one, and that's on the front on it right there. And that's a 2-0.
oh no, not a 2.
That's a
So the
$400,
ones that's
$300 book.
so the ones in the frame, but they're just cover art or something.
That's cover art, man.
Either that or reprints.
Yeah. Probably got that from over there at Gazooks.
Alice.
I was gonna give him. I didn't know those was reprints. I was gonna be like, well, maybe, but damn, you took that right from me.
Yeah, see, I mean, he got them 9/8 in them other books, you know. I mean, now right there worth the damn, but I mean, not for 150 grand, you know.
Yeah, no.
Go back to that hole in
And
the
that
wall
Spider Gwen. I think that Spider Gwen worth
right there. You trying to fix
A
that
little
hole?
bit.
Go back
The whole-
right there. Look at that hole right.
That roof, yeah, the roof. The roof is on
man,
fire.
No wonder he need 150.
Yeah, he need that.
The roof's expensive, bro.
He
The
need
roof's
that.
expensive.
You should have cropped that out, buddy.
Yeah.
That's a bad look, buddy.
Damn.
Yeah,
He's just trying to show the desperation. That's all.
help a brother out, pick.
Bro, man. If that's the, that's the attic with the way that shape is. So
I know.
that's a massive brainstorm on top of all that, man. Put that hole in there. Jesus.
That ain't smart. That ain't smart at all.
Like I said, the audacity of hope.
Man, he said 150,000. He's bugging.
Yeah. He for real with this.
Yeah, he got the gallery and everything, man. So every single issue. A lot of crap in there too.
Lots.
That Captain America though with the Punisher, I love that cover. That's classic. But not in this lot.
Hey man, he a few years late with some of that stuff, man. Civil War been done, moving everything.
Oh yeah, the hype gone.
Hogwash.
This is bad, man. This has got to be the worst.
Yep.
Bless his heart.
Mm.
That's all I can say. I hope he gets some remotely, possibly close. And it look like he got a philodendron plant behind everything too. I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it looks like a plant. Maybe some graffiti. I don't know.
It's a jacket.
He got some okay books you might have take at a good price, but man, the price so ridiculous you just gotta laugh at it.
Yeah.
Especially when they try and have this massive bulk of stuff and a massive number, and you look at it like, I don't want all this shit. I just want to cherry pick all the stuff and just here's my offer to cherry pick off these. No, man.
Yeah.
The hope, the audacity of hope.
That's right.
Audacity of hope.
Audacity of hope.
Yep.
Shout
All
out
right.
to Rico.
All right, we moving on, y'all.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we go. It's time. It is time. It is time. Let me y'all bear with me right quick. I hit the wrong button now. All right, we're gonna start from the bottom to the top.
Let's get it.
Rooter to the tutor. All right. There we go. All right. Number 20, X-Men Annual, Volume 1, number 14.
There you go.
In circles known as
There it
the
is.
first appearance of Gambit, depending on who you talk to, on what day and in what store.
It is.
I was about to say it got to be first appearance, man.
Yeah.
CGC, fix that, man. Fix that.
All right. Top weekly sale, $200 for a 9.8. Raw, $31. Near mint, 9094. 1% growth. 1% growth. All right.
It's not a bad book to make a list. I think that's a pretty common book everybody got.
You know what, Brad? I don't have a problem with a book like that on the list, to be honest with you. Because of the junk that you see on these lists all the time. You know, you see the hogwash and the slop, you know, that tends to get put on these top 10, top 20 lists. So when you see you see some decent books on there, it's
Right.
cool to work with. New Mutants 1. Volume 1, number 87. First appearance of Cox Cable. Top weekly sales, $485 for a CGC 9.8. That's usually about what I usually see it for. Weekly units sold this week, 10. Most common raw price, $99. Most common slab price is $475.
another decent book. My guy Pedro, I think he was telling me back in the day, this was the book that was sought after before the first appearance of Deadpool. Everybody was after the first appearance of Cable. So, I mean, this is a good book. I would love to find this raw and add it. I probably wouldn't buy anything slab when it comes to this book, just because there's so many of them out there.
Yeah,
Facts.
yeah.
Facts.
What's up, Chris? Hope
This
you're
is
feeling
one you
better,
can
bro.
probably go get low grade, man, and clean it up. You know, you find one. I wouldn't even say low grade. I mean, you know, you can probably just find a raw copy and clean it up, and you come out a little bit better. You know.
Yeah.
Nah, just want to help you. I don't know if you know about this, Bradley, but that book actually had two covers. It had this cover, and then it had a gold cover, which is considered to be a second print, but it's not. It's kind of crazy, but yeah.
That second print almost is worthless. You can get that one for cheap.
Yeah, my mic sound better.
Oh, much better. Much
Okay,
better.
I think it was the thing hanging out here at the bottom.
Okay.
All right, let's move on. 18. Oh man, the premier book of the starter kit for anybody that started collecting in the 90s. New Mutants 98. Top weekly sale, $1,500 for a 9.8.
Mm-hmm.
Weekly unit sold $16. Raw common, the most common raw price for a 9094, $412. Slabbed most common price is $461. You can find this at the show. I'm telling you now, you can go to these shows. This book is about 400, anywhere from 300 to 400 at the show.
Yeah, I was gonna say another not a bad book. Me personally, I got love for Deadpool, but I wouldn't dump a whole bunch of money into, you know, a first appearance of Deadpool. So, you know, to each his own.
There's so many of them out there.
Yeah.
This is like, I think if you check the census, man, it's like down there 10,000 of these on the census, man. I mean, you can find this book. You can go find this book over at Walmart.
And then I seen a transaction. Man, I think I seen this book change hands in a 9.8. It was raw. I think I seen it change hands 9.8 for like $100 at one point. So yeah.
Well, you know what though? 18 and 19, man. These books they're called roller coaster books, man.
Yep.
1 minute they up there, next minute they dirt cheap. I mean, they don't know what to do with them. Like, it'll be cold after X-Men 97 and this Deadpool movie die down, they'll be cheap again. So
I'll say this too, man. I can't tell you how many times I've been to shows in the last 3 years, man. I've seen 87, man, for like low as $75, man. $85, you know. So I mean, this I mean, anybody looking to buy this book right now, man, I tell you, just hold off, man. If you just got to have this, man, just, you know, get online and go find a PDF. Don't buy this, man. Don't spend that much money on this book right now.
Yeah. No, most definitely don't.
Especially this Deadpool. Like Al said, this I mean, we can go back. We can just go check every Deadpool movie, go back and just go look at it before, and then just look after, and then you see, you know, it just stone cold.
Yep.
And as true blue collectors, at some point, man, we got to start wrangling folks up. We can't be letting this happen where y'all just hyping a book up because of a movie, not because of a story, and not because of a great solid character with lineage. Y'all hype it up for a movie, then drop it down, and man, that just makes it so.
Yeah, go ahead, Al.
That's why I find it amazing. Of course, we know that X-Men Annual is on here because of the X-Men 97 cartoon.
Correct.
And I find that utterly amazing that a cartoon can actually dictate the market.
I'll say this, and I think this is why these books are on there, because of the cartoon. The cartoon has been great. The dialogue has been so great, and the episodes are only 30 minutes, so it leaves you wanting more. So then as a collector, you find yourself like, well, let me read this story. Like the Trial of Magneto, it's even better in the story, in the book.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the life depth is even better in the comic books. So that's why you...
How how many people are going after them Operation Zero Tolerance stories now, man?
Oh my God! But we ain't got through with the list yet, so we might see a few on there. So
Yeah. All right. Next up, we got Penthouse Comics number 2, 1-25 variant. No clue. Don't know what's going on here, but it's $50 weekly sale. 26 sold this week, and it's $27 for the most common raw price and slab. Of course, it hasn't been slabbed yet. So
I know in those Penthouse Comics, there'd be a little party in the back of them, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know what kind of party they had on that particular issue.
yeah. A book that Al loves to hate on the list. Wolverine, Volume 1, Number 1. Top weekly sale $780 for a 9.8. Most common raw price $151, and most common slab price $699 for a 9.8.
see, it's the kind of stuff that make me want to sell the ones that I got.
I mean, you'll see it again. Oh, like you'll see that again.
Yeah, you definitely gonna see it again. I love the story, so I have this whole set raw. I don't have any intention on grading it, and I didn't care about, long as it was very fine or near mint minus whatever. But I love this story, so that's why it's in my collection.
When I got the whole set. My shop had it. He had the first issue for the most expensive price, and then all the others was like $30 each. So I think it was about $100 for the first issue. And he said the other 3 are free. You can take those 3, buy the first one, and just take the other 3. And because he knew me, that was even sweeter.
Man, I bought this whole set a few years ago in super pristine condition, Canadian variants, man. And I bought the whole series for $60.
Who you bought it from?
Damn, that's a hell of
You
a
remember
deal.
when I bought it from
World Famous Dave.
No, it was the actual, it was that comic show.
I know it was the belt. It was the belt. It was the belt.
Yeah.
The belt. I remember.
That was the one y'all didn't go to. Yeah.
I remember that, the belt.
Mm-hmm.
If you know, you know. All right. Next up, Ultimate Spider-Man number 1. The Chiquetto variant.
Yeah, Chiquetto. That's just cover A.
Excuse me,
That's
cover
just
A. I'm out of the loop on these new books, so you have to excuse me. Top weekly sale $120. Weekly unit sold this week 20. Raw books $96. Slab $202 for a 9.8.
Are you
So-
serious?
Yeah. So this book has been holding steady. I don't have cover A because look, they're charging $65, $75 for cover A. And for me, I'm just like, nah.
You
And
talking about a book that just came out? You talking about a book that just hit the stand? The shop owners are charging $75, $60 for a
well,
regular
this book came out before MegaCon, so everybody pre-ordered the cover A. So cover A was sold out at all the stores. So the people who did get them, they were selling at MegaCon for $65, $75. I seen about 4 or 5 of them. I passed on all 5 of them because I just couldn't pay that price. The price is still going up. I still can't pay that price. Don't get me wrong, it's an excellent story. I think people love the fact that in this particular issue, Uncle Ben is still alive in the Alt U. Not to mention Spider-Man, again, he's not Spider-Man officially to the end of this book. So it's a great story. As far as it being that price, I'm only thinking because everybody bought them up out the stores. This has been holding steady on the list, has been holding steady on the pricing. I'm just keeping my eyes open to see if it goes down.
It's gonna go down.
I'm not paying $65. When it gets to that like $15, $20 range, I'll take it then.
It's not even a variant. That's the thing, man. It's a regular A cover, and it's selling for that much money. I'm like, what?
That's crazy. I didn't know it was up that much. Like when you was talking, I was just like, huh?
Yeah.
And the vendors would not lower their price on this. I'm like, what's the best you can do on this? They'll have 65. They meet me at 55. I'm like, whoa. No thanks.
Yeah, 55.
You know, at that point, that it ain't nothing but greed. Because let's be real. When they order these books, they already order them at a discount below the cover price.
Correct.
So anything from cover price above is a profit. So they just being greedy at this point.
They got cases, and we know this firsthand. We've seen this. They have cases of this book. They have cases.
That's
Long
crazy.
boxes sitting on the floor, ready to go because it's hot.
That book's hot.
Marvel Superhero Secret Wars Volume #1, #8, Black Suit, direct, top weekly sale $188, Raw $152, Slab $98, $470. Let me tell you, this is another book that at one time I was over at Fanboy, and Mike had 22 of these sitting in the case. He said, I don't want to see it. He said, I don't want to see another. That's how often you see this book. So I won't be paying over $100 for this book.
You know why it's on the list is because it's the anniversary
Chad.
of it, 40th anniversary, and they're doing a variant cover of all of them with this type of cover in May.
And if we want
Gutter trash.
and if we want to cherry pick, technically this is not the first appearance of the Black Suit, but we ain't going there. So
It's going to go up. It's going to go up again, though. It's going to go up because of the Secret Wars movie, and I'm pretty sure the next Spider-Man movie, he's going to get the black suit.
Man, it shouldn't even go up considering the fact that we don't already have Venom movies. So it's like, what's the point?
But that's the market now. It goes up, down.
comic fam. That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Yeah. Here we go. X-Men Volume 1, L number 117. 117 top weekly sale, $38 a book that could have been got 2, 3, 4, 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. $4.50, $6.50, $5.50. I'm talking dollars and cents now. I ain't talking about 100. I'm talking $4, $50, $4, $3, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10. Now we almost a $40 book now, y'all. I see you had your finger up, brother. You want to speak?
Man, let me tell you something, man. I'm finna testify. I am so glad that I got back into the hobby when I did, because some of these books literally were pennies on the dollar when I got back. And that wasn't so long ago. That was back in 2007 when I got back into the hobby. It is ridiculous. I mean, just because Shadow King showed up in another book, it makes sense. I feel sorry, man, for people that's really trying to get into the hobby nowadays, because this is kind of stuff that's going to discourage a lot of people. A lot of people. It's sad, man. It is truly sad. But
it's going to get worse.
Oh yeah, it's going to get worse before it gets better, man. It's going
to get worse
before it gets better. And we predicted this, man. We talked about this. We talked about this almost a year ago when these X-Men, when you starting to see this X-Men stuff now. That was
we sure did.
You know, when Fox was coming out with these movies, they were giving these books away. I mean, you could go down to the gas station, 7-Elevens. They would just hand them out, man. You know, get your Rollos, get your X-Men book while you at it.
You
giving stuff away, man. Just giving stuff away. Now all of a sudden, and this is a testament to actually a good show. You know, we talked about this in the back. It's a testament to a good show. But you just hate to see these obscure. This is an obscure issue. This ain't just like, oh man, this is a massive character. This is a major character. This is a character pops up, goes on by their business, and people are looking to capitalize on this. Brad, you had to say something, brother.
Man, let me tell you something, man. I just bought this book probably maybe 3, 4, 5 months ago from Prime Time of all places. They had it in a $3 box.
See,
I already had a copy, so I got 2 copies of it. Don't make sense, man.
Yep, that's called the market, but I see what's above that, and I already know. Another one. We all got this book on the panel. Everybody on this panel probably got this book.
Yep.
Nobody on this panel paid over $10, maybe $15 for it at the most. On this panel.
Sacrilegious.
Yeah, at the most $15. You know, at the most. And I'm just doing a rough estimate. You know, I this is another book that you look and you just say, okay, all right, why? You just go, why? Because you look at it, when you look at Wolverine, this is the way I look at things now. This is the way I look at it, especially my collective mindset now. Okay, I understand this Wolverine versus Sabretooth. But if I want a major Sabretooth book, I go find his first appearance. And then if I want a Wolverine book, a major Wolverine book, of course y'all know where to go for that. You know, 180, 181, 182 up for debate, however y'all want to do it. That's you know.
180.
180. I was just gonna say 180.
Yeah,
180.
Whatever y'all want, you know. But for paying top dollar for this, because here we go. Let me throw the numbers out here right quick, Sean. I'll come over to you. $30 top weekly sale, 15 units moved, $14 raw for a 5.0. 5.0, $14. And slab $302 for a 9.8.
It's going to get worse.
It is getting worse. You see when you see Spider-Woman on the list, you know it done got bad.
Let me say this right quick too, man. I most times, and y'all hopefully will agree, but I mean, we always say that if you are a fan of a particular IP or property, if you have, of course, the available resources, you gonna already have it.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point of going out buying this book at this point?
I think it's just the cartoon, man. I think the cartoon is summing up, bringing back up the nostalgia for some of this stuff.
Yeah.
So people are respecing. The market is low, so people are buying low. Hopefully, they can get a high flip out of it. Because a lot of these buyers may not necessarily even be, you know, rookie buyers. It may be some dealers that's like, okay, that's a low price on the book. Let me try to flip. You know, that's just how the game is right now. I'm particularly not a fan of it, but let me say this. I'm not participating in it because I'm not knocking nobody hustle, but I'm just not participating in that portion of the game.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think a lot of the people are going through their growing pains right now. They're just getting back into collecting. To be totally honest, I think all of these numbers, and that's the reason why, like, what has kept Marvel afloat for the longest? It's been X-Men. Like, to be totally honest, I understand they want to put the Fantastic Four, et cetera, but the X-Men literally has at least 2 generations by the neck, chokeholding everybody, and they done came out with a property that is good. This has been the first property since Endgame, you know what I'm saying, besides Loki or whatever, that has been good. And they are bringing, like, you got grown ass people, men, women, watching. I mean, like, this thing is catching everybody in the world storm. But, like, to be totally honest, there's a lot of people that has not been collecting like we've been collecting. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got in, you know, before 2008. We got our house before 2008. You see what I'm saying? I mean, like, after 2008 when the market was down. You feel me? So, like, we got this book, but it's a lot of people, bro, that we finna start seeing. Like I said, like, right now, after at the beginning of the year, the game finna go. It's finna inflate. It's finna inflate like crazy. They got like 5-6 comic book movies coming out next year alone, and they finna start rat-a-tat-tatting every year after that. We down right now, so like this is the time to buy. But to be totally honest, we finna get a whole lot more people that's gonna be like, "Ooh, comic books! I want to go buy that." And they're gonna be like, and they're gonna think that buying this book for $50 is the low.
Is a deal, right.
They think that this is the deal. They think $50 for this book, and I got that book for $3, $2, $1. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing. because you know what I'm saying. We got it before it blew up, but yo, just the cartoon was good. This cartoon is amazing. What you think they're going? What I hope. What you think the live action gonna be?
You got people searching for Bastion's first appearance, man.
Oh man,
That's why I'm so glad that Matt could attest to this. I got ahead of the curve years ago. Years and years ago. So I mean, it's crazy. Rico, what's going on, man?
Take your time,
Yo.
brother. Take your time. Take your time, brother. Take your time. I know you're trying to get everything. Take your time, brother.
Well, I'm telling y'all, man. And I'm gonna
retirement.
let you go ahead and do your thing, man. But I predict if this is not on list, I ain't seen this list. God.
You know what? I've seen from the back end. I hadn't seen the top end, so I know.
Okay.
I haven't seen it at all.
If Emma Frost's first appearance is not on this list, it'll be on next week. So,
Facts.
All right.
Oh, of course.
We'll move on here. Number 11, Spider-Man 6, Yagawa, 1 in 25 variant, $50, $38, non-slab, dollar book. All right, let's go ahead and hit 10. Here's a book, another book that goes into the 90s collectors. If you know, for everybody who started collecting in the 90s, you got at least 2 or 3 copies sitting around. You probably got one on the doorstep, one sitting up on your bed to make sure it don't slide. Spawn number 1, Todd McFarlane. Top weekly sale, 98, 170. 33 units sold this week, $27 raw. And $152 for a 9.8.
Hey Matt, you know what just crossed my mind? Remember we did that 90s episode and Blood Strike appeared and we just went through all the 90s stuff?
Yeah, this is a 90s
Hey,
book.
like, yo, when this book came out, New Kids on the Block was still relevant and shit.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Brigade to show up on this list.
Nah, don't brain have that coming back. Have Blood Strike coming back with Brigade and
all that Rob Liefeld goodness.
Man, this Spawn is everywhere. You shouldn't be paying nowhere near triple digits for it. Man, you get this book any and everywhere. Matter of fact, you can buy 3 books on the Joker and get you one of these for free. If you buy 3, get a Spawn for free.
If you want this book, if you're trying to collect this book, then you need to be getting the black and white copy. The black and white or either the Malibu.
At least newsstand.
But the newsstand is minimum. You know?
Yeah.
And you can find that at $100 too if you look hard enough. Number 9, X-Men Deadly Genesis. Volume
Are you
1,
serious?
number 1.
Vulcan.
Hey, top
Vulcan.
weekly sale, $160 for a CBCS. CBCS 9.8. So we're only going to imagine what a CGC is. 17. Hold on, let me see. I'm looking down here. See what it said. That's $160 for a 9.8 for a CGC. $12 raw. Shouldn't even be $12. And most common slab price is $134.
Man, this was in the dollar bin about 2 years ago, man. Like this.
Last week.
Brad, and I got what you said, bro. I received what you said, but the logical side of my brain does not want to accept that, man. But golly, bro.
I mean,
Vulcan was like in one panel.
One little part.
I think it's just the hype of the cartoon, man. People
That's
just
what it
want
is.
they want more than 30 minutes of the cartoon. So they're
Yeah.
going back and they're reading the source material.
They-
and it's
they-
not
they-
bad material. It's just
Nope.
you
They
overpaying for it.
They
Yeah.
saw that one
I
spot
agree.
with Vulcan and they like, oh, let me get this Deadly Genesis one now. Let me get it now.
And he didn't do nothing. He was just
Hey,
standing
he
there.
ain't do nothing, but we know there's people already talking. Oh, this could be War of Kings. This could be Emperor Vulcan in the CR, especially
Hey, man.
with the CR there. So
Well, why they didn't get Leech his shine or Glob Herman? That's what I'm saying, man. They discriminating against the mutant that they want to promote. I don't like that.
they,
I don't like that one.
they said the Morlocks are the lowest of the low. Ain't nobody wants a leech.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What's
Yep.
the word, Rico?
you hear us?
Yeah, sorry about that. When I first came in, I didn't hear anybody. I'm not echoing, am I?
Nah,
we
you're
good,
not.
we good.
Nope.
Okay, good. All right, sorry about that, y'all. Appreciate it. Okay.
Yeah, we in the X-Men madness here.
It's gonna be all X-Men throughout.
Yeah.
Whoa, so that's because of Deathbird.
Yep.
Hey, that time she visit the Milky
What a
Milky
band.
Way ghetto.
Milky Way Ghetto.
The Milky Way ghetto.
Yeah, this is another book, man. You buy
Hey, you muted.
5 books, you can get this whole run for free.
I'm
They
just
give it.
talking. My bad. I'm just babbling. $21 weekly sales. 24 units sold this week. $17 common price. Slab price $300.
Whoa,
98. Unacceptable.
300.
Highly
Oh.
unacceptable.
Oh man.
Next up,
No.
thank God I got this book, man. I thank God I got this book years ago.
$5.
I didn't even pay $5 for it. I paid $3. I got it from Comics Plus.
I got
paid-
it for $2 more, but it's $5. That's
Man,
what
I got this 5 for 15. I bought 5. I got 5 of these direct edition in my short box for $15.
All right. Weekly sales $29. Weekly unit sold $21.17 raw. And slab, the most common price is $70 for a 9.6.
First pants or more, baby.
Yep. I'm gonna pull that music down just a tad, it's a little loud. Pull it out just a tad. 6. Wonder Woman number 8. We've got the Joshua Swaby.
Swaby.
1 in 25 variant. $62 weekly sales. 21 units sold. $58 raw. None slabbed.
Is this a cover grab? Because that's the only way
Yep.
I can see it.
Yeah, that's
Because
all
I
it is.
usually keep up with reading the new books, and I haven't heard anything about this series. So this has to be a cover grab, and it's way over ratio. Like I'm not paying $60 for a 1 in 25.
Last Ronin. Nah, I
Yo.
mean, come. Look, man, you talk to Resident Ninja, man. Come on, man.
Cover A.
Cover A, top weekly sale, 9.8, $350.
And it's gonna go up.
Man,
Yeah.
I got a box of Last Ronins I'm trying to give away.
I just not interested. 350, please inbox Matt at Comic Hall Crew.
It's
Say,
gonna
hey, I
go up.
350 in my life, and I'll make sure you get it, my friend. I'll make sure you get it. I'll get it out that box right over there.
Yeah, I don't have no cover A's, but I got every other cover 1 through 5. Hit me up, the Black Supernova. I got Ronins I'm trying to give away.
Yeah.
All right, raw, $150 raw. Raw.
Let me throw mine up on eBay.
Yeah. Slabbed, $275. Is the most common price that you see in the street. All right, this next book is scandalous.
They wrong for that. They wrong for that.
Scandalous.
I knew this is scandalous.
They
That's
wrong for that.
CBCS too. Jesus Christ.
Scandalous. Absolute disgracia. E disgracia. Jogo de lixo. Now you drop that Portuguese on y'all.
Hey. This is
New X-Men, Volume 1, Issue 114. 100. Who cared about Cassandra Sonoba until that
Shit,
trailer?
I didn't care about her when she came out. I never liked the character.
I said, who checking for that? Who's checking for that? This was a certified $5 book at best. Certified at best. And if you went to Origin Store, you were getting this for $1, $2. I got Chris in the chat. He understands too. Scandalous.
I think what happened with this book is, well, of course, Cassandra Nova appeared, but there's a lot of people that listen to Comic Explained, and he kind of just was like, oh man, Cassandra Nova could be the big bad. And I think that kind of hyped the book up a little bit more. shout out to Rob though, because he's a good guy, and he wasn't trying to hype the book. He was excited about Cassandra Nova, but a lot of people listen to him. So I think that's what happened with this book, because you could have got that whole little Ephraim. Is that the Ephraim extinction run? You could have got that whole little run for what, $10?
$10. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Alex. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say the crazy thing about it is, if you kept listening to Rob, he said it was Bastion.
Yeah.
He went off and was like, "It's 100% Bastion." You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, I made sure, because like I'm collecting the whole entire X-Men run. I just wanted to make sure I had it. I was like, "Oh, I got it. I'm good. I'm done. I'm out. I don't need to worry about it. I'm safe."
I got that book for Owl last year.
I was just about to say, shout out to Sean and shout out to G-Man for giving me this book, because I wasn't going to pay. I was getting around to getting the new X-Men. I hadn't got around to it. Wretched Foolishness came out about Cassandra Nova. This book on this list is an abomination before God. I just want to let y'all know this, because Cassandra Nova is more than likely going to be a one and done in Deadpool, and that's it. So this book, and I'll be the first to admit, I passed up on it a couple of times because I'm like, hey man, it's a $1 book. I get it. I got more priorities than play.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I got good people. Thank you for being a friend, Sean. Travel down the road and back again. I appreciate that. And shout out to G-Man. For real, for real. And shout out to Golden Girl. I'm done. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
All right. Number 3.
Oh boy.
Oh Lord.
This shit still on here, man.
She back.
She ain't going nowhere.
She back.
Listen,
I hate this so much.
I told you I flipped the X-Men 130 9-0 for a Luke Cage first appearance Luke Cage Hero for Hire.
Stop. Are you serious?
I got some for you.
Hey, you came out on top, Brad. For real, for real.
Listen, I applaud this book, man. If I was ever, it made my dreams come, because that was a book. I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get this. Where I'm gonna get? Then I just bumped into a dealer. He said, let's make the trade happen. So I said, I'll take it. So I got a first appearance Luke Cage 6.5.
Hey, bro.
So
more power to you.
Hey man, I might just take mine the Heroes card, man. See if I get a John size out of it or something, man.
Oh man.
Oh, my Lord.
Miracles do happen, brother.
Yo, the sad thing about it is you probably would. It like right now with the hype behind this book, which is completely idiotic, but with the hype behind this book, you definitely gonna get more than what you paid for it. Facts,
bro.
Hey, that just make sure that deal is a Swiftie.
listen. Salute to this book. And don't get me wrong, if anybody listening, this is a great story to read. Like that 129, 130. It's a great story to read. Definitely read it if you got the Marvel app. If you need the link, a link only for the fellas, because I don't know, whatever. But yeah, it's a great story to read. If you got this book, man. And honestly, I was gonna hold on to the book, but Alex kept telling me, Alex is like, yo, bro, flip it while you can. Flip it while you can. So he said it. The deal was on the table for the first appearance of Luke Cage, and I took it.
I'm so happy he made that deal. God, I'm so happy he made that deal.
Man. And you got me thinking, like I said, bro, I don't want to part because I got the full run of Uncanny up to like issue 544.
Round of applause.
Man, all right. Yeah, I might have to do that, bro.
All right. Next up, another scandalous book. Number 2.
We don't even need to talk number 1. We don't talk number 1 with number.
Yeah. Talk number 1, man. Bump number 2. Is you serious right now?
Yo,
yeah.
Hey, CGC, $315 for a 9.8.
Damn.
That. Man, I know somebody who got about 10 of those. One of the heroes, Salute to Matches Malone. I know he got about 10 of those in the stash. Big Wolverine fan, so I know he got those in the stash.
At least that makes sense. But this right here, I refuse.
I refuse to. And that's why we're gonna go ahead and go right on over here to the CBS.
Hey, there you go, man.
Yo,
top 10 list. I'm sure we're gonna see a few more books of these on here, but I love doing this because we get to see Golden Age. For the honorable mention, we have Tomb of Terror, number 14. Writer Bob Powell, artist Lee Elias, Preco Horror. This is a 9.2 that sold for an all-time high of $2,640. That's a bump up from 2022 than when it sold for $1,800. So kind of can tell you, they had a book on the top 10 last night. I don't know if anybody saw it. They had a horror book on a Golden Age book on the top 10 last night on the honorable mention. It was a 3.0 sold. I want to say it sold for, I think he said 5,000, and a 5 sold for 20.
Whoo, man.
Spawn 350 Employee Edition. These actually pretty rare to come by. I know somebody actually have a Spawn 1 Employee Edition. Sold. This one sold. It's only 300 census, and this one sold. 9.8 sold for $53.50.
Okay.
Kind of give you an idea. You ever see anybody with employee variant? You always want an edition. You grab it. All right, we'll breeze through these, y'all. X-Men Deadly Genesis number 1. 50 copies moved this week. $20 on cover A. Harley Quinn 1 in 50. Issue number 39. $120.
What y'all think about that cover? That Harley Quinn cover?
I'm sitting here looking like, man, that I mean, this.
I like it. I can't even front. I like it.
It ain't $120.
It's not that, but I like it.
Yeah, it's dope. It's different. I've never seen a Harley cover like that.
X-Men Forever number 2, 1 in 25 variant. Shout out Larry Crocker because I know he got it. $40 to $50. Shout out to the late great Dave Stevens. This was $1 book. I got the whole set for $1. Shout out to Second and Charles because they kept them on stock. No matter which one you go to anywhere in the world, they always had them in the butt bin. So I picked them up every time I saw them. All-time high 9.8 sale of $1,200. Up $750 from last week. Raws, $50. $100 averages. $273 at auction with 19 bids. So Dave Stevens, they slept on Dave Stevens. I was getting them out dollar bin, just getting them.
Oh, that's one of those freaky boy books right there.
Just getting them out the butt bin, man.
Okay.
Jackpot, Black Cat, 1 in 25, $60. We talked about that. I'm not going back over there again. X-Men number 52, L. He ain't even looked up.
I was waiting for this.
CGC 9.8 sold for $85.
My bad. I'm gonna tell y'all why that sold, right? Because this was the story arc. I've read this. This was a story arc where Bishop was actually in space, and at one point he was actually lovers with Deathbird.
Yep. That's where she got the terminology from.
From Milky Way Ghetto. Yeah, he might have told her that. He might have told her that. Yeah, that is insane, man. I'm tripping.
Andy Cuba art. All right, Uncanny X-Men 333. Go play that number. The old folks say I might have to play that. $70 raw, selling for $20. For those who are interested, that's crazy. That is crazy. So many $20, $30 books. So many books. Something's Killing the Children. Thank you, variant number 36. Thank you, variant. Stanley Lau cover. 40 sales. averaging $34 this week, high of $75. And number one on their list this week is 114 New X-Men. 20 CGC sales this week for a 9.8, selling averaging $150 to $175. Absolutely scandaloso.
Why would somebody want this book?
Entre en la basura. Get in the bin.
Oh, that boy getting good, man. I hear you. Hey, man, I mean, to each his own, man. But yeah, I'll be glad when all this stuff is over with and these books drop down the rock bottom again, if they do. But
It ain't. I give it 5 years.
ooh,
This is the beginning, y'all. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We ain't even started hitting the heavy hitter X-Men books yet. We ain't even got to wait till the Brood. Wait till the Brood show up in 98 or something. Wait till you start getting, the Phalanx Saga and all that stuff. Wait till
Cue the Glenn Jones.
it's interesting, but it's interesting though that you just brought something to my attention, man. In the last few episodes, we've seen a host of X-Men. I guess it just didn't. It depends on how important people think these X-Men are, because you had Banshee in an episode, had Strong Guy in an episode, but like I said,
Banshee
I guess it
died,
just depends
right?
on the importance. So what now?
Banshee died, right?
Yeah, he kicked the goat skin in episode 5.
Bro, that was such an unceremonious death, man. Like, he showed up just at the table, and then next you know he's gone.
Yeah. But I mean, he got a first appearance too. I mean, he's special in his own right. I'm just saying.
Okay.
All right. All right. It is time. It is time. It is time. It is time. It is time.
Wait. Oh,
Yo.
wait. Go ahead.
What's up, brother?
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Okay. Did I forget something?
No.
Okay. All right. I have to make sure I don't forget nothing. All right. It is time for the main event of the evening. Rico is in the building, but before we get to Rico, we got to do it the right way. All right. Before we get started, everybody in the building need to be hitting that like button.
Yes, sir.
Need to be Dusty Rosen that like button for me. And we'll get ready to get down to business. Rico!
What's up?
Rico.
What's up, fam? How y'all doing?
Man, I'm hyped to be on this one.
Hey, man.
Yeah, how y'all doing, man?
I'm hyped to be on this one because y'all was on the last one.
Yeah, this is one of our favorite times of the year. We didn't get a chance to finish it up in February, but we're gonna make sure we round it out, man. But this is always one of my favorite shows to do.
Man, there's still more, man. We got more after this, man.
Yeah. Oh, y'all. So before we get started, before we go down get started, we'll drop the hammer on y'all. So me and Rico, starting sometime next month, either early June, we're going to be doing the auction watch.
Yeah, can't wait.
And it's just not going to be comics and cards. It's going to be a little bit of everything.
Everything.
Yeah. So we're going to be going back. We'll be watching heritage auctions. We'll be watching the big boy stuff and just analyzing, because a lot of people don't know it's just a lot more out there than just what you normally see.
Our goal is to find all the culture exclusives for the community. Everywhere, Heritage, Sotheby's, Christie, we going through them all.
You'd be surprised what's out there.
You'd be really surprised what's out there.
That wasn't out there. I hit the wrong button. That was the wrong thing now. But yeah, we'll be doing that soon. So make sure y'all stay tuned for that.
Man, that's gonna be a good look. That's gonna be a good look.
I can't tell you how excited we are.
Man,
Right. I can't tell you, man. Me and Rico, we talk probably 2 or 3 times a week, and just the stuff that we see that we call each other on, you'd be surprised. That's all I'm gonna say. You'd be surprised what's out there
that we don't even know about, that we just let it slip through our fingers, fam. It's crazy. We've been talking about this for about a year.
Yeah, but the last 2 weeks it really didn't picked up.
For real.
Last 2 weeks it's been crazy.
So we're excited, man. This is gonna be dope.
Yep. So, all right, brother, I'm gonna turn it over to you, my friend. It is all yours, brother.
So what do you want to do? You want me to drop it in the present?
Yeah, just do like we did last time.
Okay.
Yep, in our present.
All right, let me drop it in there real quick.
And while y'all doing that, I just want to show this banner right quick, just to throw some hints out there so y'all can be looking out for it, brother.
And why you doing that? I'm so happy and so excited to be on this. But like I said last time, this is so bittersweet because you finna drop knowledge, and I know it ain't.
We got some goodies, man, and we're gonna do a little review from the previous one because there's gonna be some stories I'm gonna bring up that are gonna tie into some of the things we talked about in the last one. So you might see a few things that repeat, but I think it's gonna be pretty special, man. So we're gonna get started, man, with part 2. But I think I'm gonna be like LeBron, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, we got a bunch of these coming, man. So we're gonna keep them moving. So I'm gonna start with this. Now we talked about True Comics number 5 in the first presentation. Now the reason why I want to start out with this is because this is gonna tee up a very important book. And what I also want to highlight in this particular book, I remember when we were discussing this book, there were a lot of people in the chat, and they were really trying to understand why is this book so important. And they were like, wait a minute, there's other books that have Joe Louis in them. Well, that was never what made this book so important. Never before we saw this book, did we see a comic that not only had a feature story of a black character, but they had the courage to place that black character and feature them on the cover as well. Now, but that's just one thing. I'm going to go to the next slide. I'm going to show it. Man, I don't know if I can zoom this in. Let me see if I can zoom this in. Can y'all see that a little bit?
Yeah, I see it.
All right, so these are 2 letters. So let me show you why this book is so important. I'm sure you all are familiar with Negro Heroes. They came out with 2 issues. There are 2 issues of Negro Heroes. What very few people understand is that book is actually compiled of mostly reprints. The publisher, the Parent Institute, what they would do is they had a myriad of comics, a myriad of publications, all geared toward different demographics for young teens, girls, women, etc. But in every comic, every once in a while, they would sprinkle a black story. It might be a story about Mary McLeod Bethune. It might be a story about black opera singer Miriam Anderson. It might be about Joe Louis. And so one day they realized they had all of this content compiled of all these black stories that they had been sprinkling in throughout all of their comics. And they said, you know what? And here's the letter. They wrote a letter to one of their partners to say, we have all this content. Why don't we just start coming up with a magazine or comic, the comic magazine, where we can now put all of the stories that we've already been sprinkling in these books and compile them all into one comic book. And the book that they sent, if you read the story as a sample, was True Comics number 5, because that was the time, and not only because that was the book where they first was highlighting and featuring a black character, but they realized that that it was now becoming acceptable. You can put a black character on the cover of a book. Because remember, people forget, years later, Lobo's on the cover of his first book, and people don't even want to carry that book because they're uneasy with that book. And that was in the 60s. That's like over 20 years later. So let that sink in. So this is 1941. Let that sink in. 1941. So 1943. I'm sorry. This is 1943. So basically, they were coming up with several names. So these are the names they came up with. They put Negro heroes, colored heroes, and picture stories for colored people. So if you notice, the very first one at the top is Negro heroes. They were just coming up with ideas. This is the book, True Comics #5. Well, I always tell you, this is what started everything. And not only that, Joe Louis is considered probably the king of black comics, because if you look at all the early comics, Joe Louis, Champion of Champions, look at all these comics that came earlier, they were featuring Joe Louis because Joe Louis was like a hero. People forget sometimes. During that era, black athletes were our heroes. We didn't really have the Superman. We didn't have the Spider-Man. So it was the Muhammad Ali's. It was the Joe Louis's. It was the Willie Mays. It was the Jackie Robinsons. These were our heroes, and these athletes were featured in comics. So this comic right here set everything in motion. Also, when you look at the second letter, actually that's not a letter. That is the inside of every Negro Heroes, only 2 issues book. And if you see at the bottom, they're always thanking, the Urban League is thanking Parent Institute for allowing them to reprint those stories in the Negro Heroes book. So if anybody that has a copy of Negro Heroes, just open up, look on the inside, you're going to see that information in there. So this is why I always tell people why this book is so important. Also, a lot of people actually thought that the Urban League was front and center. They were the ones that published the comic. It was the Parent Institute, but they partnered with the Urban League because they understood that they needed a black organization to help get these books in the hands of black readers. So that's why a lot of people actually thought it was the Urban League and not necessarily the Parent Institute. Now, this book sets up the next book. If I have any questions, please feel free to interject at any time.
Oh, sure.
Now, this is a book we're going to have to spend some time on. This is Millie the Model #141. This book came out in 1966.
Rico, I actually got that book. You were talking about earlier today. Yeah, I actually got that. Yeah.
This book right here is probably, to be so obscure, it has some of the most misinformation. If you Google this book, it's going to have 4 or 5 books telling you what's the first appearance of Gil Gerard. So I'm going to warn everybody now. So anybody wants to start commenting, I'm going to tell you right now, I already know. I've spent thousands of hours working on this, just researching all of these books. So this book, Millie the Model 141, is the first time that Gil Gerard showed up in this book. Now, she was actually inspired by, some of the black earlier jazz female singers and figures during that era. And so she was a model. And what's most important about this character, this was the first time in Marvel history that we saw a black woman in a recurring role in comics. Before Misty Knight, before Storm, it was Gil Gerard. Now, in this issue right here, you're going to notice at the bottom, it clearly states how, at the bottom right, I did a large clipping. It says, watch for Jill in future issues. We think you're going to love her. So this is her introduction. Even in the comic, when you read it, they're introducing her for the first time. She walks into this room and everybody's staring at her. They say she's so beautiful. And she starts greeting everybody and meeting everyone. Now, the second book, which is Modeling with Millie 48, it also came out in 1946. Now, Millie the Model was a book that started in 1945 and it ended in 1960. It ended in 1973. While Modeling with Millie started out in 1963 and ended in 1967. Now, a lot of people actually believe that the last issue was in 66, but issue number 4 was actually 1967. So this is what I want to show receipts. I always like to show receipts. So now, this is an important book as well. Now, if you notice, you see somebody in the top bottom right-hand corner of this cover. That's Gil Gerard. This is the first time, watch this, since Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos. And mind you, this is not going to be an issue number 1 of Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos. Remember, that book came out, I believe, in 1963. Remember, when Gabe Jones first came out in 63, he was white. He was white on the cover, and he was white on the inside of the book. Now, there was also one little panel on issue number 1 where they kind of grade him a little bit, but that was only in one panel. But outside of that, on the entirety of that book, he was always depicted as a white character. Well, we have never seen since that issue in 63 where they had Gabe Jones blow that horn, where they kind of had that featured picture with Gabe Jones and he's in the cover blowing the horn. Never before did you actually see a black face on the cover of a Marvel book, and outside of Gabe Jones, of course, until now. But this book is so significant because she's featured for the very first time. So she's actually not only showing her face, but she's featured. Now, people say, well, why is this important? Well, this is why I started out with our True Comics number 5. This was something that they just were uncomfortable doing, putting black faces on the covers of books. That's why a lot of Golden Age books, it's not hard to go through Golden Age books and find black characters, but it's very difficult to find them A, on the cover, and B, actually featured or having their own featured story in the book. So now in 1966, not only do we see Jill Gerard, the first African American or the first black woman to be actually featured or as a recurring role in a comic, but now in the same year, because they had two issues running at the same time, you see her on the cover. Now, some people actually think this is the first time she appears. So you're going to have some people say, no, I researched and said Marlon with Millie number 48 is the first appearance. Well, they both came out the same month and the same year, But not only that, if you read this panel right here, it clearly tells you the gang met Jill in issue number 141 of Millie the Model, and it was a ball. So they're clearly telling you in this clip that her first appearance is in Millie the Model 141. So if anybody wants to tell you while you're researching, you have receipts right now. So her first appearance that she ever appeared in was in Millie the Model 141, where she introduces herself to everyone, and then in the same year she comes back in Marlon with Millie 48.
So question. Mm-hmm. In terms of rarity and pricing, where does this book stand today?
It's really not a hard book to find, to be honest. It shows up every once in a while. It's not going to be in good condition when you find it. But it's not, we were talking to someone a while ago, and I think sometimes, we have to understand that rarity and scarcity, although they're cousins, they're not the same, right? Because demand is the thing that really sets the equalizer for rarity, right? For example, you can have something that doesn't have a significant print run, may not be easy to find, but there's no real demand for it. Therefore, it's not really scarce. It might be rare, but it's not necessarily scarce. Scarcity deals with where if it shows up, somebody's going to grab it. You see what I'm saying? So it may be something that has a short print run, hard to find, but the demand exceeds the supply.
Gotcha.
And that's what scarcity really is. So a lot of times we say rare a lot, but something can be rare, but not necessarily be in demand.
Oh yeah, I got a question. Is 48 the only cover appearance of her, or is there other ones in the run where she's on the cover as well?
Great question. I think she's in other covers, but this is the first time she ever appears on the cover. Molly Millie number 48.
She on 51.
She on 51. Yeah,
51?
I think she's on at least. I think she's on a couple of them.
Okay, yeah, I definitely got to get those.
Yeah.
Heroes convention.
I tell you where you find this at. You find this book will probably be, if you go to like that old dude who just have like 2 or 3 short boxes sitting on a table that ain't nobody going to. That's usually be the dude that usually have the model.
True.
Yeah, they're out there, but they're usually really, really beat up when you find these books. I'm gonna show another book. That's the problem with books like this. A lot of books that have a lot of history, especially African American history, furs, just very historical moments that we're not really aware of. They just get tossed around because it's not your typical key that the mainstream population are looking for, and they're not going to necessarily preserve those books. There's another book I'm going to show later that is probably one of the most beat up books you'll find, but in my opinion, it's very, very important as well. But people just toss books around like that. So 141 and remember now, there's 2 separate titles. Millie the Model, remember there's 2 runs. That's 141. That's the first time she appears in comics. and then Modeling with Millie, which is also a run that was going on the same time, even though it started later. That's when she shows up on the cover, and they both came out the same year in the same month. All right, let's go to the next one. Now, we talked about Crown Comics. I'm trying to do things in chronological order, so now we're going to go to 1945. So Crown Comics number 3. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because in 1945, Matt Baker did something very amazing. He created, people know him as an artist, but he also was a writer. He created Buddha and he wrote the story. That was his story. That was his creation. That was his character. This was the first time that we saw what we would consider, a black hero featured in a story in comics. Remember, this predates All Negro Comics, which came out in 1947. So a lot of people think it's Lion Man or Ace Harlem, those books in 1947. No, this book came out in 1945. So this book predates that by about 2 years. Now, I'm using this as an example to show that in 1945, Matt Baker not only creates a black character, which we know later becomes whitewashed, and they end up changing the cover. He never gets a chance to get on the cover. Again, this is what I'm saying. Remember, this character never gets a chance to get on the cover as a black character. When he didn't get on the cover until they changed him to white. That's why True Comics number 5, Millie Model 48, these are so important books. They were very uncomfortable putting black characters on the cover because they really believe some people might not buy the books. So they wanted to make sure that they had no problem sprinkling them in on the inside, but on the cover, that may actually prevent people from purchasing the books. Buddha never made it on the cover as a black character. By the time he got on the cover, he was already transitioned to a white character. Now watch this. The following year, we get Blue Beetle number 42. Now, the gentleman you see on the left is a guy by the name of A.C. Hollingsworth, arguably one of the greatest artists, period, black or white, in that era. Now, unlike Matt Baker, it took some time for people like Ace Harlem and others to start getting a lot of notoriety without trying to hide who they were. When Matt Baker came into the scene, people began to ingratiate themselves with his talent, and next thing you know, he just became very, very sought after. So what ends up happening is you have people like A.C. Hollingsworth that started operating under pen names. So he actually illustrated various comics under names like Alec Hope, Alvin Holly, and A.C. Holly. So sometimes there are going to be certain books. So if you see any books that say Alec Hope, that's still A.C. Hollingsworth. Or Alvin Holly, that's still A.C. Hollingsworth. Or A.C. Holly, that's still A.C. Hollingsworth. Now, why is that important? Well, Matt Baker didn't start operating under pen names until his career was almost over because he did not want people to know who he was. He was so famous as an illustrator, he was trying to hide the fact that I'm Matt Baker. He didn't want people to know. So it kind of shows you how the juxtaposition between, a black artist during that time, trying to conceal who they are as one that's because, they feel like they may not get work. And another artist like Matt Baker was saying, I just don't want anybody to know because I don't have a problem getting work. Now, why is this book so important? We celebrate characters, Black Panther, Storm, Misty Knight, so many characters that were not created by black creators. And many of us in this community will call FF52, I hear it all the time, a black book. We will call Luke Cage Hero Fire #1 a black book. Now, I get it. I understand it because it's featuring a black superhero. It's his first appearance. It's a legacy character. I get it. It makes perfect sense. But how is it when we have a black creator that creates a character of any race, we don't want to call it a black book? In my opinion, I would make an argument and say a black creator, especially during the golden age, when it was much more difficult for them to get into the business, for them to be able to break through and create a superhero of your own, in my opinion, that's a black book, if you ask my opinion. So in 1946, we have a book by the name of titled Blue Beetle 52. Now, this is a tough book to find. I'm gonna just tell you right now. I think there are only 7 graded on the CGC census and 1 on CBCS. The 4th highest grade is a 5.0, just to show you you know, how hard this book is to find, and in the condition you're probably going to find it. This is the first appearance of Bronze Man, that was a character created by A.C. Hollingsworth. Now, when he first created the character was actually going to have a helmet, and he wanted the character to be black. Now, look at what we're doing right now. Remember, in the beginning, we're talking about how difficult it is to have black people on the cover. Now you have a black creator creating a character that is intended to be black, but he understands that he probably has to put a helmet and conceal his image. So he actually wanted this character to be a black superhero, but he had a mask on him, which was actually bronze, which he came up with the name Bronze Man. But before it was published, they ended up changing it, taking the mask off and making him a white character. Exactly. So you see the same thing on the inside of what A.C. Hollingsworth is doing, what we had to go through earlier in the previous books, what was going on the actual covers. But this is still a very important book, because this is actual. People forget we talk about the big two, Marvel and DC. During the golden age, there was no big two. Everybody had skin in the game. Fawcett had skin in the game. Marvel had skin in the game. DC, St. John's, Dell. But the thing was, people were focusing on different genres. You knew that EC in some books would give you horror. You knew that St. John's would give you romance, right? You knew that Fawcett and Golden Key would give you some of the TV shows and different things like that and translate those into actual comic books. But no one had a monopoly on comics. So there were no big two at that time. Everybody was making money. So the fact that we have a book like this, where you have an African-American creating a superhero, even though they're changing the color, they still allowed this guy to create a superhero in comics. This is a big deal. And by the way, the cover was designed by a black artist by the name of E.C. Stoner. So this book right here you have the cover designed by a black artist, E.C. Stoner, and you have a story on the inside where you have the first appearance of a character, of a superhero created by a black creator. This marks, probably from my research, only the second time since Crown Comics #3, right here, where you have a black creator actually creating a superhero of any complexion. We see the first time here with Matt Baker and Vuda, and we see it the second time here in 1946 with Bronze Man. Why is this so important? The next time we see it is in All Negro Comics the next year. So this is the first time before any black-owned publication you actually get black artists able to create characters in mainstream publication, which I think is a really, really big deal. Lastly, a very important thing about this book, the publishing company was actually going through a transition period. So there's not a 43. So there's no issue 43. You go from 42 to 44, which I believe is probably explains why this book is hard to find, because perhaps there might have been, since maybe during that transition, the print run for this book may not have been as large as some of the previous ones, knowing that probably whatever that transition is, I don't know what caused that transition, and then it skipped from 42 to 44.
Quick question. So yeah, once again, pretty much every book you're gonna say I gotta get, but if I don't have it already. But did a black artist do the interior? I know you said one wrote it.
Yeah. So
one did the cover. Did he do the interior art as well?
Great question. So E.C. Stoner did the cover. Black art. He designed the cover. Matter of fact, he did other covers also for Blue Beetle. E.C. Stoner was a very accomplished black artist doing. Matter of fact, in part 3, I'm gonna actually, I have a slide ready. We're gonna talk about probably like some books. Matter of fact, a great book to learn about a lot of these characters artists is probably An Invisible Man, which was written by Quinn Quatro. So this book actually talks about a lot of important black illustrators and creators, artists and creators. Let me say artists and creators. A.C. Hollingsworth is in here. Matt Baker's in here. E.C. Stoner's in here, among many, many, many more. So this is a great book to get to learn a lot about some of the great black artists and illustrators during the Golden Age. It's called The Invisible Man by Quinn King Quattro. So, but that's a great question. E.C. Stoner did the cover. Now, the golden era was different than comics today. A lot of golden age, it was not uncommon for it might be a Blue Beetle book, but there might be 4 or 5 different stories of different things inside. It might be inside the book. Like Crown Comics #3, there might be different stories. Say like there's a lot of DC books like that. One of the books we talked about, in some of the early DC books, there might be, you might have a cover with Superman and Batman, but there might be additional stories on the inside. I'm going to show you one later as we go in. I'm going to show you one for an example. So there are a number of stories in this book. So A.C. Hollingsworth did the story for Bronze Man. He wrote the story and he also illustrated and created the characters. He did all the work, the creation of the character as well as the story itself. So this book is a whammy. You get a cover in the Golden Age in 1946 designed by a Black artist. You get one of the earliest ever superheroes created and designed and illustrated by a Black creator, and a story that was also written by the same creator that created the character. So this book is a double, triple whammy.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so I'm excited about the next one. So in the last presentation, we talked about books that I identify as classics. Also, A.C. Hollingsworth that we talked about, he actually illustrated a story in one of the Negro Romance issues. I believe it was Negro Romance #2. So I just want to bring it. I think it's #2, but he was also one of the artists that worked on Negro Romance. So that's something good to that about A.C. Hollingsworth as well. Now, the book I want to talk about next is Dig, because that was a book that a lot of people were reaching out to me saying, I never seen that comic before. And they were shocked that a comic in 1955, a Golden Age comic in 1950, and they've never heard of it. So I wanted to take this time to really kind of showcase some of the pages and talk a little bit about this book. So this is a comic. Now, remember, you got to understand, comics, we didn't like today, we have this standard format in comics.
Right.
You didn't have that in the Golden Age. You didn't even have that in the Bronze Age. Remember, Ebon comes in different sizes, even the tabloid size. Think about comics in during the Platinum Age with Buster Brown and Paulo Mosi. Those were, and even Red Mask. Those books were vertical. So comics came in multiple different variations and sizes, and they were sometimes called magazine. For example, people say, "Well, that's not a comic; that's a magazine." Well, remember, right here. Hold on, here we go. Oh, I'm going too far back. All right. Oh, I know what I'm doing. Okay, right here. The true comics were called pictorial magazine, picture magazines. Sometimes they would be called picture books. So back in the day, a comic might be called a picture book, a picture magazine, a comic. They would come under different names. Also, what we also have to understand is that during those times, Black indie creators didn't have the money and resources. They had to cut costs at every measure. Remember, Black Laughter was using newsprint, and I believe that was like in the 70s. They're using whatever they can to get the comic out or to get the publication out. And sometimes many of them were looking at doing it as a quarterly, as a monthly, as a weekly. They were just trying to get a comic out to generate advertising dollars so they can continue to put out issue after issue after issue. So this is indeed a comic. And so I wanted to show inside pages so people can actually see this is a comic book and it's nothing but comics. Now, this is one of the hardest books I've been able to get research on. I was able to make one contact. They only could give me very, very minimal information, but any information was good information. So this book was published in Detroit, an underground Black-owned publishing company in Detroit in 1955. Their goal was to kind of come out with a bi-monthly comic, and they called the Negro Choice magazine. And everything inside was comics. Now, the interesting thing about this book is that this is in the Golden Age in 1955. This is the second time since 1947 you saw a fully Black-owned publishing comic book. Negro Romance was published by Fawcett A lot of people think Negro Romance was similar to All Negro Comics, and it was published by a black publishing company. That was published by Fawcett. So this is an indie black comic. Matter of fact, this might be the indie of indie black comics. Like we talk about indie comic book creators and indie comics, this might be the indie of indie black comics.
And were you able to get your hands on a copy?
Yeah, I have a copy somewhere. Matter of fact, the pictures come from mine because it's so hard to find. It's so hard to find this book. Every time people ask for pictures, I have to take pictures of mine and send them copies of it. Hold on one second.
I was just what you was talking about. I was just like, oh man, it's gonna be hard to find. But you got one. I gotta get out, man. You gave me hope.
Man, there's hope, man. There's always hope. There's always hope. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, that looks like that old school, that paper we used to write on in elementary, like that.
Yeah. This is my copy right here.
Wow.
If I can blow them up.
Just in case you want to blow it up. I don't know if you can see. I can show it later. But yeah, to be honest, oh, here it is right here. Now, let me show you how hard this book is to find. When I was researching years ago, when I was really trying to like collect some of the rarest, hard to find, like historically significant black comics, I learned about this book, but I didn't believe it existed. I was like, well, okay, but I couldn't find it. And I only saw like a photo, like, and I never, not even pages, just a photo. And I was like, is this a comic? Does it exist? And one day, late one night, honest, it was on eBay. This was probably about 5-6 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was. And I said, I don't care what it goes. I threw the craziest number I could think of that wouldn't break me. And I didn't have to pay that much just to make sure if anybody just runs up the bids, I would win it. And fortunately, luckily, I won. I didn't really have to pay. I didn't pay a ton of money, but this is actually one of my favorite comics in my entire collection.
That's what's up.
So I do have this book right here.
I'm gonna have to go and read that in PDF format and check that out.
Yeah, what I'll do one day is I'll see if I'll digitize it and share it with the community.
Rico, let me throw this in there too. This is another one that I'll show you how I read it in just a second. But this is one that I got last year. Rico remember this.
Yep. Days of Change. Yep.
This is another one, and this is actually it's from the March of Dimes. And Born Healthy, a lot depends on you, you know.
And I remember when Matt was sharing that book with me, I remember telling Matt, what made that book so phenomenal was showing the black family. Like, I don't think people realize it's very, very difficult to find, especially during that era, black families on books, even in romance books. Like, remember,
that's the only one. That's the only one that's been graded right there.
Yeah.
Oh, that census is low on. What's that one?
Only one.
That's it. That book's a ghost, man.
Yeah. So that kind of gives you an idea how rare some of these books are.
Yeah, that book is a ghost. That book is an absolute ghost, man. Absolute ghost. Hold on, let me go back to the slide. Hey, put me back on, Matt. I don't know how to put the thing back on. There we go. Yeah. So this is a comic. So for those that reached out to me, first of all, thank you for reaching. I got a lot of people reaching out to me on IG, like, man, love the show, love the video. But they were asking about this book. They were like, can you show me some inside pages? How is this a comic? You know, they was asking about the magazine. And the thing, again, like I showed you with True Comics Picture Magazine, don't get caught up in titles, especially in those early eras. Picture books, right. The format is different, but it's really about how the book is structured, how the book is laid out on the inside. As you can see, this is clearly a comic book.
Yep, for sure.
Now, this is one of my favorite favorite comics. I wanted to talk. This is one of the slides I pulled out of the last one, but man, so this is Calvin number 10. Little kids introducing Calvin. If you notice on number 10, it's going to say little kids introducing Calvin. The last two is going to say featuring Calvin. Why is this book so important? This book came out in 1973. This is the second time Marvel featured a black character with his own comic. The first time, of course, was in 1972, Luke Cage, Hero for Hire. So the fact that you have a non-traditional type of quote unquote, people kind of get into the capes and cows type concept of comics, right? You have this really, really fun kid in school, kind of Fat Albert-like story. Great, cool, very fun stories. Gary, just a lot of, it's not necessarily slap talk, but it's just fun kid stories, talk, conversations. But this is one of the hardest books to find in good condition. Now, this is a hard to find book. It shows up every blue moon. I think there's a couple on eBay. You're probably not going to find them on the wild, but when you find them, they are beat to hell. Like literally, they are beat up. It's like somebody tied it to a string and just drove their car and just drove on the highway with it. These cars stay, these comics stay beat up. But this is a very important book because this marks the second time, and the first time, which is really important, that a non-hero is featured on a Marvel comic and its title. So we know that Luke Cage is a hero. We even know that Reno Jones in Gunhawks number 7. Remember, Gunhawks ran 7 issues. The last issue, he now takes the title. Reno is now Reno Jones. But this book beats out that book by not quite a year, by 7 or 8 months. So this book is not only the first time we see a comic book character with his own title that's not a hero, but it's the second time on Marvel Comics. But it's the second time Marvel actually features a black character with his own title in comics. It was only a 3-issue run. It was issue number 10, 11, and 12. But think about this similar to the way you would think about Power Man, how you had Luke Cage, Hero for Hire, then it eventually transitioned into Power Man, then it transitioned to Power Man and Iron Fist. This is kind of what little kids did. You had little kids, and then you had this little run where you had little kids with Calvin, and then it kind of goes back into another run or the previous run. But I think this is a really dope book to have. Great character. I think I would love to see Disney Plus do something with this character from an animated standpoint, cartoon standpoint. I think there's a lot of legs. As a matter of fact, I think Jill Gerard, the character we talked about earlier, I would love for her to show up in the MCU, maybe in a restaurant where Sam Wilson walks in and she's a model, a black model, down. I mean, another thing with Jill Gerard was also reimagined later. So there's a modern version of Jill Gerard. She's younger. So if you Google Jill Gerard Marvel, the first image is probably going to come up with a young girl she's not necessarily a superhero. I think she's just a part of the comic, but she has been reimagined in comics and she has been updated in comics. So
that what you call it is that last issue of Calvin is the hardest one to find.
That's the hardest one to find, and that's the one that's usually in the worst condition.
Yeah, that's the hardest one. I've been looking for that.
Well, yeah,
I'm gonna need Ray Billingsley to team up Calvin and Curtis, man, because Curtis is one of my favorites growing up, and this gives me Curtis vibes when you see the Calvin stories. I'm like, Calvin and Curtis would be great together as a team up.
Zoom me in, Matt. I'm so glad he said this is a book. This is a book. If you find it in a while, snatch it.
I'm happy I got it.
This is one of the hardest books to find.
The other one you got is extremely hard.
Yeah, absolutely. This book right here, I'm telling you, when it hits eBay, I don't care if it's $150, $200, it sells immediately. Ray Billingsley, I follow him. One of the greatest. One day I want to do an actual presentation on comic strips. Yes. Ray Billingsley is the GOAT. It was comic strips that actually got me into comic books. So I'm really a comic strip person more than I'm a comic book person. But Ray Billingsley is one of the GOATs. Ray Billingsley, yes. Maury Turner, who gave us Wee Pals. But Ray Billingsley was one day on Facebook on his group. Great guy, love following him on Facebook. And he saw this book on for sale, and it was for sale on Amazon. And it sold for $500 or $600.
Ridiculous, man.
It's ridiculous what this book sells for. So
it makes me so happy because I paid pennies for that book, and I was so happy I got it when it did. Look at you now, you got stunned.
Oh, that's a nice little flex there. That's a nice little flex on us.
Hey, if there's one thing I am waiting and praying for is a new Curtis edition. You know, that's I want a new collector edition with all the Curtis strips.
I agree. Absolutely. So yeah, it kind of gives me that, you know, Calvin gives I'm with you, gives me Curtis vibes, it gives me We Pal vibes. Dope story, fun story. So if you seek Calvin's 10 through 12, definitely pick up those books. Let me see if the exit. Hey man, how do I get out of the thing? Oh, appreciate it, man. All right, now the next book I'm gonna show, I'm extremely excited about because, all right, so another book I need to probably highlight more is Black Eldridge. That is a hard book to find.
Yeah.
Black Eldridge. It's called Adventures of Black Eldridge, the Black Panther. It came out in 1970. So the next book I'm going to highlight is important because during the 70s, especially in the San Francisco Bay Area, there was a movement, and they were publishing, you know, a lot of content, magazines, comics, all different types of medium. And Black Eldridge, that we know, you know, one of the things we understand is that this book, from my understanding, the print run was about 1,000, but the reason why it's so hard to find these books because some were actually confiscated by the FBI under COINTELPRO because Marcus Bookstore, the bookstore, was under investigation and they didn't like the content of this book. So that's one of the reasons when people keep saying, I can't find this book, why is it so hard? Well, because these books were confiscated. So if you have this book, you might not even want to show you have this. No, I'm just saying, but these books were confiscated. So this is a very tough book to have. And this is the book in the middle, Black Eldridge. So why am I bringing this up? Well, there's a very important book that I also wanted to talk about in the last presentation, but I felt as though it deserved more than just being featured like on a thumbnail. So the next book is one of my favorite comics that I think, yes, I see the face. This is a comic. Remember, don't just think about the traditional format. This is a comic. But in 1973, a very educated, smart, intelligent Black woman, she was a community college counselor in California. She was a part of this whole movement of storytelling and creation in the Bay Area during the 70s. And she created this comic called 70 Soul Secrets of Sapphire. This comic right here is amazing. Now, I want to read an excerpt from this comic because I have to do this book justice. Just a small excerpt. So this is a part. It says, Sapphire is a jive name used to refer to a Black woman. In one sense, it represents an insult. In quite another sense, it refers to a collection of physical attributes, personality traits, mannerisms, feelings, attitudes, aspirations, and problems most peculiar to that unique group of super women who have weathered well the storm of the Black experience in America. Every time I read that line, it gives me chills. And this comic is actually featured in a lot of public libraries. And so, and there was also a second issue that was published called Sapphire's Second Set of Soul Secrets. And that it has an orange cover. So if anybody wants to find that book, it is an orange cover, and it is absolutely hard to find. That book may be harder to find than this one. But this book is important because it was crafted to unveil universal truths about the experience of African American women. All that look at my man. Hold on, go on to zoom it in.
Oh, Matt flexing on us.
Matt flexing. Go on to zoom it in.
Strong.
Go on to zoom in. Go on to zoom in. There's also, if I'm not mistaken, a second edition of this book also.
Yeah, make sure and it's notated in the book.
Notation. You want the first edition. So you have this book, which is the first edition. You have a second edition that looks the same, and then you have a second issue that's called the second set of Soul Secrets. But this is why in the last presentation, when I created, I was coming up with these titles, and this is what I call disruptors. And I put, books that I identified as cultural catalysts, social reflections, cultural observation, books that was really trying to have a significant dent in society and culture, speak truth to power, be creative. We talk about representation today. Well, the 70s was the period, especially in the Bay Area, where they was trying to fill those gaps, and they was doing it at levels that even today we're not even seeing it. And so this is a book that, along with Black Elders, we have to talk about, because this is one, in my opinion, if we want to highlight books like Black Elders, we also have to highlight these books, because these came out at the same time, in the same era, in the same location. You know what I'm saying? So that's what makes this book so significant. Also, I have a note I want to read. This comic is one of the rare publications akin to Black Elders from the Bay Area, producing efforts to promote Black action and empowerment. The publishing company involved in this particular book involved members of the Black Women Organization for Action. And they ask any OGs from the
that's powerful.
They'll tell you. So that's another reason why this comic is so important. Any questions?
What's the print run on that? How hard is it?
I have no. It's hard. It's hard.
Man, just looking at the artwork, I'm like, man.
Yeah, I love the way she's drawing, man. I'm loving everything about this.
Yeah. I think there's one on eBay. It's not mine, just in case nobody know, because I don't sell mine. I don't sell books, so it's not mine. But there is one on eBay.
These flexes, man.
But it's not an easy book to find. But this is a comic, and that's why I wanted to. We have to understand. Remember, Black Laughter was printed on newsprint and didn't have enough money to produce a second issue. All Negro Comics, although it may be considered more traditional format, they couldn't even print a second issue, not because they didn't have the money. No one wanted to give them paper. I apologize. No one wanted to sell them paper. No. They weren't asking for a handout.
Nobody wanted to sell.
Nobody wanted to sell them paper. So when you're dealing with the lack of resources, you're printing your publication in any creative way that you can. Whatever the paper you can find, whatever, the size you can print to save cost, that's how you're printing these books. So this is the last one. I wanted to land on this one. Anybody got any questions or anything like that?
Man, it's been really good so far. Just to update the audience, it's one on eBay and it's going for a FD.
What's the price? What's the price on eBay?
They want 200.
200 bones.
200 bones.
$9 shipping.
OBO.
What the condition look like?
It looks okay.
No, it actually looks really good.
Yeah, it's a little warm, but
it's a white hand on. It's a white hand holding.
those books like that. These are books like
1-866-801-8255.
But there is a making offer on it though, so he might come off of it.
Yeah, anybody want to make an offer, man? If you're interested, make an offer. See what they say, man. But matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, on one of the shows with I was very shocked when I saw it, but I think Stein just throws random stuff. If he sees something he never seen, he'll just throw it, even if he don't know anything about it. So it's not that he actually had any knowledge of the book. But I do remember on one of Stein's shows, he actually showed a sale on this book. So it may be an eBay sale. Maybe somebody can pull it up.
It's a second edition. It's the one. That's a second edition.
So the second edition is the one on eBay now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the second edition then. Okay, so make sure everybody knows the one on eBay is the second edition.
Okay, so it's a second. So we need to talk him down to about 100 then.
You need might be a little bit lower than that.
start at 75.
Yeah, 75, maybe 65, and work your way up.
How did Mike Epps say 75, 65, 25, 35?
That's the first edition. I mean, second edition. That ain't the first.
Yeah, you want the first edition. It'll say first edition, printed 19s. I think the second edition might have 74. Don't quote me on that. But you definitely want the first edition, man. But this is a really dope book. Just a very fascinating comic, and then it's just very empowering. The reason why the history of these books are so important is because so many of these books were intentional. It wasn't about someone sitting down saying, I want to create a superhero or a character. It was more about, I'm tired of the way Black people are being portrayed in media, television, in the community. I want to make us look like superheroes. I want to empower Black women. So comics like this, that's what they were very intentional. It wasn't about the fiction. It was about creating fictional characters, the fictional stories, but that everybody in the community can relate to.
And it's crazy because if you think about like the women, like I know, for example, like my mom, she was born in like 66 or something like that. So if she had I don't think she had an opportunity to see something like this just because of the location. I think they were in Alabama at the time, or our family might have migrated to Michigan or whatever the case may be, but just because of the location, she didn't get an opportunity to see some of these things that, help empower the women, because growing up around that time, you were around a family and your dad might have been a hustler and you was around a bunch of country alcoholic jokers and all kind of stuff. So this is a good look right here.
Yeah, good look, man. And that's why I wanted to read just a brief part of that introduction to that comic, because it was just so powerful and showed how intentional it was. And this book is actually, showcased in a few public libraries, which is where sometimes that's where some of these books are. They're in like some of these libraries that found them. I think some libraries have better collection than some of these museums. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be honest, I'm very disappointed in terms of, the Black narrative, whether it's first edition novels or whether it's comics, early first publications of magazines. I'm very disappointed in some of the African American museums we have as far as how they're handling curation. In my opinion, they're really dropping the ball in curation. And I think I mentioned in the last video is that sometimes I think it's unfortunate, but they want us to do the heavy lifting. And, can you just donate, your books to the museum? We pay all the money, we do all the research, we find the books, and then, hey, give us your books.
Yeah.
It is, I think these books should be, because in about 10 years, you're not going to find these books.
Rico, we've had this discussion, all times at night, man, about how the curation of just anything that's Black African American related. If you do searches online and you just see some of these shows, and it's just how poorly things are set up.
Yep.
It's quite shocking. Yep. It's quite shocking.
Yeah,
it is.
And
that's why Matt and I, we talk all the time, and we're looking at these auctions. We're looking at Heritage. We're looking at Christie's. We're looking at Sotheby's. We're looking at these auction houses. And one of the things we're realizing is that sure, there are going to be certain items that you're going to see, and they're going to go for crazy amounts of money. There's going to be that James Brown poster or that Ernie Barnes painting that's going to go for crazy money. That Duke Ellington poster, crazy money. Okay, hold on, zoom in, my boy, zoom in, my boy, Puck. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Ray Billingsley, shout out to Ray Billingsley, man.
I was like, man, I got to show it, man.
Ray is the GOAT, man. Ray is one of the GOATs, man. So there are a lot of low-hanging fruit of some very important historical items that speak to the Black narrative in a lot of these auctions, but they don't know what they are. And if they can't find the research, they'll just say, well, it's old and vintage, and they'll compile whatever data they can, put it up there, and no one bids on it. And someone like ourselves, if we have done a little work and we're looking for, we can find it, we can find some serious gems.
I like that.
The things I found in Heritage will blow people's mind, and then what I paid for it even blow their mind. Heritage, I would make an argument now that there are some items on Heritage you can get cheaper on eBay. Because everybody on eBay want $5,000 for
we see
anything.
Yeah, 114.
Yeah, man. But on Heritage, it's an auction. That's why I always tell people, the best thing is always to find an auction, because whether it's eBay or someone else, the auction is going to give you what people are willing to pay. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever goes for the highest, that's what somebody was willing to pay. So, but when you put in these astronomical prices and hoping somebody pay that price or negotiate a price, books like that will sit. And we were having this conversation. I'll close on this. That's why the eBay acquisition of Golden auctions is so, I think is a really big deal, because think about it. What Golden auction does, it's going to allow people on eBay who may have some really, really significant books or items in general, and you might start getting, messaging and notifications from them saying, hey, do you want to post this on Golden auctions? Because they may feel as though, you may have something that may sell at a pretty good price, instead of just letting it sit there and have 20, 30, 40, 50 people, 100 people watching it. Like how many people have sitting there, we've watched an item for 5 years and the price just keeps going and going up. And the watch list is getting bigger and the price is going up and nobody bought it. So the acquisition with Golden auctions, I think that's going to open up some doors for sellers, because it's going to help sellers probably move some books, and it's going to be good for eBay, because now they found another avenue to get another commission, even a higher premium, because they're going to get a higher premium on Golden than they will than the commission that they get on eBay.
And then they're going to get a wider range of audience too, with some of the
audience. More eyes.
Things that's going to be brought in.
Right.
So I definitely
get a chance of selling something like you just said, because people that may not have been looking for that, they're looking for other items, and now that they're there, they're going to see that particular book, where they have to go through all of the the list of things in eBay. But that's the last slide, y'all.
I had to put in a call for that one. I got a cousin who she's pretty well connected out in California, so I just had to send her a text and said, need, very, very important, first edition.
Yeah, man.
So she sent me the thumbs up back.
So Rico, you said there's plenty of parts that we can do with this, like beyond.
Man, we got, but like I said, we like LeBron when he was in Miami. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4. Because what I also want to do is really tap into comic strips, because I'm a comic collector. Comic strips, comic books. It was comic strips that got me in the comic books. It was Wee Pals. It was those stories that, because what people like, think about it. If you look at a lot of early Golden Age books that had multiple stories in it, some of those were actually comic strips. There would be some stories that's like a page with just comic strips. Yeah. And you flip it, there's another page with comic strips. And another, so a lot of early Golden Age books were basically like, think about Mandrake, the Magician, and Lothar. It was translated from the comic strips over to the comic book. So same thing with Friday Foster. Now, of course, it was a new story, right? It formatted differently than what we saw in the strips, but it started out actually as a comic strip that eventually not only became a movie, but became a comic book as well. So comic strips, last but not least, think about Poor Little Mousy. Poor Little Mousy is the first comic to ever title Platinum Age comic book, early 1900s. The title have a black title character. This is a comic book from the same creator, Buster Brown, and so those comics were comic strips that were translated into comic books. So it is, I get it, but it's really hard to really differentiate the two when you're looking at it through a historical lens. It's hard to really separate them. It's just not how the story flows. You know what I mean?
Hey, so how soon can we get a part 3?
No. We can talk about it, man. Let's get together, man, and set something up.
Because
man.
the reason I asked is because I know I had another person that wanted to join. Her name is Keisha, the Blurred Library, and she was fascinated by that first show, and she asked if she can participate in the part 2.
Absolutely,
and when it was announced that part 2 was this coming Saturday, she attended the Black Comic Book Festival in New York, and she's a moderator. So she was like, "Man, I need to decompress after a long day doing that." So I told her, like, "Hey, if we do another one, you're welcome to join."
We'll get on the next one, man. No doubt.
And it's like Rico said, there's so many directions. Like we can talk about, the black writers, their most important pieces.
And now I'm so glad you brought up the black creators on non-black characters.
Right.
I covered AC Hollingsworth when I did my 28 Days of Black Creators, and I mentioned that him and a couple of other creators worked on characters that weren't black. So that's another important factor on say.
And how did they present those characters too? How did the black creators present the white creators? What kind of hurdles are black creators go through? Like for instance, this is a book I read twice already, just because it gave me so much insight to.
That's a dope book.
What a lot of the creators went through at the time, and like what Rico was saying, they wouldn't even sell the creators paper at the time, so they were like kind of really struggling. And not only that, this book give you a list of a lot of black books that's not mainstream media that's important to us, with important narratives, important concepts, a lot of important black cards, not just sports cards, but like cards with prominent figures from our community. So if you do anybody who's black into comic collecting, if you do get a chance, definitely pick this up. This is a really, really, really great book to read, and it's kind of like an introduction starting point. It's not a lot of pages, but it's filled with information.
I'm glad you said. Look, I cannot stress the importance of this. I can't. Look, if we are willing to call FF52, Tomb of Dracula 10, Giant Size X-Men #1, a black book. Right? I mean, you hear this in the black community. Oh, I'm collecting all the black books. Fine, I understand it. Don't get me wrong. I understand the connection that we as collectors have with the first appearances of these characters. Storm, Blade, all these characters. But in the golden era, in the 1940s, when you were going to different bathrooms. You can't even sit at this. You can't drink from the same water fountain. You think about all the things that you cannot do. And all of a sudden, you have in a nationally published magazine, you have a black creator creating. And I'll make an argument. I appreciate the fact that AC Hollingsworth intended for Bronze Man to be black, but in my opinion, I think it's even more phenomenal that it's a white character created by a black person in the 1940s.
Yeah, that's major.
That is crazy. Like,
if we look at the social climate,
that is insane. So matter of fact, shout out to AC Hollingsworth and say, you know what? Go ahead and change the character, and as long as my character stays, because they did the same thing to Buddha. At least we got a couple of issues with him as a black character, but they eventually changed it. But by the time Buddha made the cover, he was no longer a black character anymore. So that if you're gonna call those black books, you absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, must call this a black book. Because not only that, remember, the great E.C. Stoner also illustrated the cover.
Yep.
That's like a double whammy.
I gotta say this. I gotta give you props and respect, because I never really thought about it in that way, because my collecting has been more so geared towards what I know and what I see, but throwing that different spin on it, especially in that time era. You know what I'm saying? That's time era for you to be able to be a black person and you getting work, and no matter what they may, come at you, change your character from black to white or whatever. Just the simple fact that you getting that work is phenomenal, and it's a feat, at that time. And then thinking about like you put me on game on that Blue Beetle, and I appreciate that because it's like you had someone who did the interior. I mean, not did the interior on the story work, the the artwork and had different, stories on the inside. But just like when I think about that, I wouldn't have. When I see Blue Beetle, I'm not thinking that's a black book.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Yeah.
And like now I can like change my perspective and actually do a deeper dive, because it's kind of like I've been grabbing like the Lobo and whatever because that's on the cover and that's what it is, because I'm not really thinking about, what I'm saying, the inside. But now I got to think about the inside, and my collection is going to grow even more, because it's a lot of black characters, it's a lot of black artists and writers who have done, white stuff, white stories, white characters, et cetera. But that story still, they're pulling from their experiences. You know what I'm saying? And there's a reason why you can relate to certain things a little bit more. Just like, for example, X-Men 97. There's certain things that they're saying in that cartoon that we can understand a little bit more because that person looks like us and has went through some of the things that we've went through. And so,
and guess what? I'm glad you said it. To all the comic book creators out there, let me give y'all some games. Bronze Man is public domain. So you can pick up the torch. All the comic book creators out there, I'm talking to you. You can pick up the torch, take the character, and make him the way AC
he was intended.
Intended.
That's awesome.
How cool would that be?
And is AC Family around to give like any kind of insight on some of the things he may have mentioned or anything of that nature?
Well, AC was not foreign, man. Like, dude, we could do a whole. Matter of fact, shout out to the Black Comic Lords. They did a series with Kim Quattro where they would talk about certain Golden Age artists, and they actually did one with AC Hollingsworth. AC Hollingsworth was one of my favorite. I mean, I was collecting AC Hollingsworth before anybody was even talking about AC. I have some of his craziest covers out there. Some of those early horror covers are some of my favorites. Matter of fact, I think I showed one in the last in the last video I was in. So also AC Hollingsworth was a great painter. So later in life, he stopped doing comics and he became a very, very well sought after painter. So you can go online and look at his paintings that go for a ticket. So AC Hollingsworth was one of the most talented individuals you could probably even think of. That's why I said he wasn't just a great black artist. He was a great artist. You know what I mean? And so I absolutely believe that, Alex. Man, I believe that we have to look at it through that lens and understand what these individuals were going through, what they were fighting for, and for them to be able to create that character and get it published. Okay, yeah, they changed the race, fine. But we didn't see that before. Like, that may possibly be, and I'm using possible because I take research seriously. That may possibly be the first time. I really think it is, but I don't want to say. I'm going to use allegedly. But that may be the first time that a black character, a black artist created a black superhero. That may be the first time, because we know it was just the year before Matt Baker in 1945 created Voodoo, a black artist creating a black superhero. So unless there was something in between that year, between Voodoo and Bronze Man, it's AC Hollingsworth.
I gotta get it.
That's huge.
I knew this was going to be informative and hurt my wallet all at the same time.
That's a tough book. That's a tough book to find, man. One recently sold. Shout out to Phil, who's doing the documentary. I think he snatched that one up.
It beat me by a few hours.
Yeah, because I think he posted it.
I wasn't on Facebook that day, and I drove. I'm only usually on Facebook 2 times a day.
Yeah, because I hit you. I hit up like 3 cats.
Yeah, he
I
hit
said,
me
hey,
up on
man.
Facebook instead of calling me. I was like, bro, you got to call me on that. You got
Better
to call
grab
me.
it.
What
And,
what did it sell for?
I don't know. He did a best. I think it was listed. It was at My Comic Shop. I think they wanted maybe like about somewhere between.
It was
wasn't great.
325. It was like 325 or something like that.
Okay, 325.
325? That's
Yeah,
it?
Yeah, but now that book when you find is not going to be in great shape. Now he has a pretty decent copy, but it's not going to be in great shape. But remember, the fourth highest copy, the fourth highest grade on the census is a 5.0. So and it's two. Watch this, and it's two, which means there's only 3 books that are higher than the 5.0 because there's 2 5.0s.
Now, out of what con that everybody has been to, but do you think you would have the most luck at finding these books in the wild?
It's going to be a case, man. You're going to have. It's not like you're going to be able to go to a con and just find every last one of these. Like I found this one. I found this one about what book, Rico, about early in the year.
Oh Lord!
Yeah, and that's and you found that at a con, yeah.
I found it at a con, but you gotta keep in mind I've been to like numerous cons, and then it's like popped up. Last year I found Black Man #1. It's not gonna be like this one con you can go to. You got to go to like 15 of them, and then you'll see stuff like I saw last year. I saw what's our book that we talk about all the time?
Hold on real quick. Hold that book up again, Matt. The last time I saw that book was on Heritage. That's how hard it is to find that book, and it sold I think around $700 or $800 raw.
Yeah, and the only reason I got this, man, was the guy who I world famous Dave. He knows I collect this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just need to ask your local comic book store. They don't know what they got, man. Especially the white part of my French, anybody in the chat, a lot of times they don't know what it is.
Yeah, they don't know.
That's fact.
And so they don't know, and they're not looking at it from that aspect like we would look at it as if because I collect this stuff, black artifacts, and so most folks know that's what I collect. And so they say, okay, well, if I come in the store, they say, well, man, I got a collection, and this is what I got,
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just have to kind of like put your foot in the pavement and keep it moving. I'll go ahead, brother.
Well, I can appreciate the presentation. It may not have been looking like I was paying attention, but
man, you good, bro.
I got a list, so I'm gonna be a junior artifact collector. Well, I'm already a junior artifact collector because I've showed you, Rico, some books that you've actually inspired me to get. So with all this X-Men collecting, I gotta get in on the game too, But you gave me an idea, Rico. You had mentioned something earlier, and I'm glad you said that about the circumstance of Black folks claiming everything. I think we might need to explore that aspect of the comic book collecting scheme because it's really important, for people to be educated, like you schooling us. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think if people know more about the history of Black comic books and everything, and the artists and the writers and stuff, I think people will be a little bit more relaxed in trying to claim everything, So, yeah, I think, if you cool with it, I know you got like droves and droves of information, and I consider you the Library of Congress of Black comic books anyway. So,
First of all, check this out. We've done 2 presentations. I've shown a number of books. How many books?
Three if you count last year's.
Yeah,
3 if you count last year.
Okay, so but just think about these last 2. I have shown a myriad of comics, empowering comics that have some really, really in-depth stories. Can you think of any comic I showed, even in the golden era, that's negative or derogatory?
No.
But every time you hear, I hate to say it, Black collectors, I don't want Golden Age books, everything is this and that. Look, I get it. But guess what? In the 60s, everybody was subservient. Every Black character was subservient. In the 70s, they were jive talking turkey, this and that. Yeah. So at the end of the day, every era is gonna push the boundaries as far as they possibly can. So if you want to, so you're being intellectually dishonest if you only want to single out one era. But I'm trying to show people, even in those eras, there are some amazing historical books that are empowering and uplifting that we should be really taking a second look at. And you don't have to be embarrassed about, because at the end of the day, I'm not embarrassed what Matt Baker did. I'm not embarrassed at ACL. I appreciate what these guys did. I appreciate what Jackie Orms and Maury Turner and all these cats did. They paved the way so you can have people like Sanford Green and other people today.
Yeah.
No matter what they might say, without Matt Baker, there is no Sanford Green. Period.
Rodney Barnes, yeah.
There's no exactly. So we got to understand we stand on these men's and women's shoulders. And to sit there and talk about all the negative stuff, we're completely disregarding all the positive stuff, and we should be trying to highlight those things.
I think, and I agree with that completely, man. I think a lot of it deals with laziness.
That's exactly
because
what it is.
People are so streamlined, and that's why I say these types of shows, man. I enjoy them, I love them, and I appreciate you again because I've said this so many times. You and Matt, I appreciate you for your knowledge and your wisdom, and I've said this, your passion, because it actually comes out every time you do one of these and stuff. And I think, like I said, if more people actually knew their history, they would be more open to go back. Because Matt probably gonna laugh at this. I think most people, when they think about black comic books and stuff, they think about our boy on the Shazam cover, Steamboat.
Right.
They think about those racist caricatures.
Shucking and jiving.
Yeah, shucking and jiving. When it come down to like them golden age, even though I want that book because it's a Shazam book.
I see what they think. Keep talking now.
Those books exist. We're not gonna look. We're not going to say those, but we can pull out some books right now that exist that I don't like, and I think are very negative in 2000s.
Right,
that are very derogatory and negative as far as how it depicts black people. So we can find books in every single era. So I'm not saying those books don't exist. What I'm saying is, name me one book in these presentations that I've showed that's negative and derogatory.
Yeah,
I can't think of one, man. And like I said, just based off of your teachings, because I'm gonna call it like it is, bro. I done picked up the Saber.
Yep. Felix down south. Yep.
That's what they think.
Yeah, they think every book looks like.
Ooh, that's some nasty work.
Some nasty
work.
I gotta get that book, man.
It's on my list too.
It's the only one in existence so far. Yeah.
If I can find it, I'm getting it.
I got this from a cat that was stationed in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I think most people, when their mindset is just stuck on that type of book, they don't see the Sabers and the Lobos. Because you'd be surprised the number of black comic collectors that know nothing about Lobo and Lobo and a real deal like comic book character, So.
And even if you crack the pages open, Lobo's a very good story. If you read it too.
Let me.
That is a great story.
Hold on, Rico. Where's that slide at? Oh yeah.
There you go.
Which side you looking for? It might be. Was it in this one or the old presentation?
No, it's in that one. It's in that one. I saw it when you was talking there. I just got to go back.
I gotta get that Jill Gerard though.
Shout out to Lady Holt.
Here it is right here. Here it is.
What's up, Lady Holt? Yeah, shout out to
A lot of folks sleep on Gunhawk 7, man.
Yeah, Gunhawk number 7. Yeah. Remember, we talked about that. Yes, I only mentioned it, but I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't go in depth. But Gunhawk 7 is all. You can go find that, man, at a show. You can go walk.
Absolutely.
That's a long one. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so you see those, you grab one,
Jokes.
What's up, Shan?
Well, yo, for real though, Rico, man, he dropped the bomb with the Sapphire. I
want that.
I always got to end. I always got to end on the big one.
Yeah.
Because not only that, like the presentation was amazing with the Sapphire and stuff, but the first thing I think of when I hear the name Sapphire is Sapphire from wrestling.
It was with Dusty Rhodes.
And stuff. So that name come on. So to see actual Soul Sister Sapphire is like, damn. Now
I never even heard of that character until tonight, man. So, shout out to Rico for that. Shout out to Rico when we have these conversations, not just with comic books, but when we spoke offline where we get the 360-degree look at the situation, because a lot of times we speak from revisionist history and adult history, right? A lot of stuff happened when we was kids, so we're thinking as an adult, oh, you should have did this at this time, or you should have not thinking about what the social climate was, the cultural climate was, what was some of the unwritten rules of the time, and giving that perspective before presenting information. And when Rico came on and he's like, look, these guys were able to get their stuff off in the 1940s, right? I remember my grandma telling me, like, they got chased home from the KKK. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
right.
Right.
It was real in the field back then. You know what I mean?
Literally.
It was real in the field. So,
Absolutely.
Yep. So we will be back with part 3. We'll get that lined up at some point.
And before you move on, I did put the link. Shout out to Keisha, the Blurred Library. Sub her up. She's been doing amazing things. You know, covers comic books, authors, novels, all Black related. So definitely give her channel.
All right, hold on. Speaking of subs, how many subs do we have? How many subscribers do we have?
What, the Comic Hall Crew?
Yeah, how many subscribers do we have? I'm about to do something real crazy, y'all. How many subscribers do we have?
I think we over 700.
It's 710 last I checked. You know, I checked.
Right.
It's an absolute disgrace.
I'm about to do something really crazy. If we can reach 1,000 subscribers, you know what? I'm gonna give away.
Nah.
If we reach 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna allow Comic Hall Crew, and y'all know how hard this book is to find. I'm taking money from my children's mouth. But real talk, when we reach 1,000, we will let Comic Hall Crew do it live, or however they want to do the just do the thing where they get the random thing from subscribers from the chat, and we're gonna auction this book off to someone when we reach 1,000.
There you go, incentive. Sub it up, man.
Y'all need to tighten up. I need y'all to tighten up.
Hey, say it again, Rico. Say that one more time.
I need y'all to tighten up. And my grandpa used to tell. Every time you get in trouble, my grandpa say, "Son, tighten up."
Entre en la basura.
That's it. Whatever he said. What he said.
I will clip this part and post it on Instagram to spread the word.
And I'm gonna say this. Ask anybody in Comic Hall Crew. When I say I'm gonna do something, what do I do, y'all?
You do it.
Hey, put it on me.
If I say I'm gonna send y'all,
the wood.
what do I do?
You put it on the wood.
Hey, put it on me. You put it on the wood. Put it on me right quick.
All right.
And
I'm
gonna confirm that. The reason why.
There it is. There it is.
This came from Rico because I mentioned that I'm a fan of Fat Albert, and he sent me this. Now I don't know if y'all know, but yeah, it ain't. Yeah, this ain't cheap. So my man is very benevolent, for real, for real. And not only that, but he sent me a Friday Foster #1, which I don't know where it is at this time, but the brother is righteous. What he's saying, he ain't lying. He'll do it. He ain't lying. He'll do it.
Hey, y'all, we need to tighten up, man.
And if y'all get a chance, read the stories that Rico is suggesting, because they are really good stories.
I got the first issue of Truth. You know, Red, White, Blue with the whole Sam Bradley. Isaiah Bradley. That's right, Isaiah Bradley. It was mine. And Rico said, I'll send you the rest of the series, including another copy of #1. Oh. He ain't have to do that. You know, I was just happy finding the #1 of it, and and I was just gonna work my way and get the rest. But when Rico did that to me, I was like, man, like that just shows you how great he is as a person, and he backs up what he said, and you're gonna get a great book.
Tighten up. And y'all look at this book. This book ain't beat up.
Yeah.
Tighten up.
Tighten it up.
Tell your friends, not only the Comic Hall Crew, but go ahead and subscribe to Heroes After Dark.
That's right. Subscribe to Heroes After Dark, Comic Hall Crew. I hope this book goes to a good home. This is a great book. It's a really good book.
And before we move to the host, I just want to say, man, you guys been doing a great job, with your channel, and I wouldn't mind being a guest on there for y'all, like Spotlight, Community Spotlight. If any of us, we can appear on there. I work during the week, So
sure.
if it's on like a Saturday night or a Friday night, hey, you know, if there's no Comic Hall Crew, I'm down with being a guest on there, and any of us would be willing to join.
Hey man, listen, I'm cooking up something, so stay tuned. Stay
All right.
tuned. I'm cooking up something.
And I put Mike on game. He's at C2E2, man. And I told him, hey, if he could link up with the artist that's behind me, California Blend, all that artwork she did.
Oh, she got some dope art, bro. She got a storm.
When she showed in her story that storm,
yeah. Yo, she got some dope art, bro.
Man, I was like, yo, I wanted to message her and say, yo, I'll buy that for you right there. And I'm not even at the con. But I was like, nah, I got enough of her stuff, so but yeah, he's gonna hopefully link up with her and maybe y'all can do something with her because she's another Florida native in West Palm Beach.
Oh, that's what's up. That's what's up. Shout out to Florida. Shout out to Florida. Shout out everybody. Shout out to everybody in Florida.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We moving on. We moving on. Hall.
I got nothing, so
Okay, all right, nothing. Al.
Of course, I have a few things. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. I'm trying to reach down my to get something, and once I get that, I will be ready to pull this stuff. Hold on, gummit. My microphone failed. Hold on, man. I'm sorry to hold up. I feel like I'm holding up the church service. Give me a second.
Put the finger up.
You always had that one unruly person in church. They had to take out every now and then, every third Easter. Okay. All right. So let me grab this stuff. I got some new stuff and some old stuff. Stuff I picked up off of eBay. I buy this book every time I can find it, so I got me another one. This book is super cheap now.
There you go.
Yeah, it is. It didn't got way cheaper than when I was first looking at it.
Till Michael B. Jordan announced something with James Gunn, and then all of a sudden it'll be an $800 book.
Literally.
I got this second appearance of your boy Matt.
Brother Buddha.
Yep. Dollar Bin Books. Of course, y'all know I'm an X-Men fan, so I just picked up some stuff that I didn't have. X-Men Endangered Species #1. That's a one shot. I picked this up just off the strength that it was an X-Men book, but it's a Toys R Us limited edition. So with the way everything going, I wouldn't be surprised if this end up on a list. Mutant X #3. This is Havoc. For everybody don't know, of course, I'm an X-Men fan. I've collected every issue, volume 1 of the X-Men titles, with the exception of Wolverine and Cable. But I'm almost done with my X-Men Uncanny run. I need 10 more books to complete that from issue 1 to 544. I always pick this up. This was in the dollar bin. Of course, this was an amalgam book. DC and Marvel, they put Storm and Wonder Woman together, and that's how you got Amazon. I would really like to see that combination in real life. Not real life, but in the comic book. Rise of Apocalypse #4. I needed that to complete the miniseries for that. I collected this run of Justice League. I think it's volume 2 or 3. I think it's volume 3. So this actually completed that full run of Justice League. Y'all don't shoot me, but I bought it anyway. And the reason why I bought it is because I had the original. Y'all done pretty much sold me into selling the first one or either trading it. So I got the full copy of X-Men 130. So perhaps maybe since I got this, I'll sell the one that I got and then just buy it on the back end once it drops.
Hey, listen, that is that's what Alex told me. Alex said, get what you can now and buy the dip.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm gonna do, man. So
And,
You
and
know,
Al, don't worry, man. We got your back. We'll help you get that book back.
yes. Thank you, sir. All right, so X-Men Forever #2. They buy the Anna Krakoa era, which I'm very disappointed, but you know it's gonna happen. I got these out Dollar Bin book, X-Men Prime. I already had this, but it was $1. So this was actually, I think, the epilogue for Age of Apocalypse the first time. Age of Apocalypse, a really good series. And X-Men Alpha, which was the prologue of Age of Apocalypse. Avengers 368, Dollar Bin book. I'm collecting Avengers from issue 100 to 400. Can't do a full run because X-Men got it on lock. And then I got Rise of Powers of 10. Again, number 4. This is the end of Krakoa era. Bought a microphone today, but I don't have
Good shit, that boy.
yeah, man. I got I think my microphone is losing its fidelity, so I went and got another one. So I got to get a cord for it tomorrow.
Nice.
Then video games, Stellar Blade, baby, for the PS5, and that's it for me.
All right.
Oh man, I ain't got nothing, man. I'm so sorry.
I got a little, you know,
Let's go.
as you guys seen in the shorts, one of my favorite books. I sent it pressed, raw and graded. So I got the number one. Yeah. So I found this. I bought the set raw, and I'm hesitant on grading my books because I'm like, somebody offer. I don't want to be tempted to sell, but this is one of my absolute favorite stories.
Wow.
And I had it raw.
It is good.
And I sent it in, and it came back a 9.8. I got it pressed. I actually got it pressed through CGC just to try them out. I can't believe I trusted them with the book, but it came back a 9.8. And this is clean. And I may send in issue number 2. But if I see this, anytime I see this, and I feel like I can get 9.6, 9.8 out of it, I grab it. This is one of my absolute favorite stories, man. I love this story.
Congratulations on that, man. That's crazy.
Hey, Brad, you might have me crack mine open because I got that in the 8.
Oh yeah, definitely crack it open and see what you. If it's no color breaks, out. Keep sending it.
Yeah.
Keep sending it if it ain't no color breaks.
And I second that. Every time I see it, if it's a good price, I try to get that, man. Mm-hmm. And I'm afraid of next year with that book because I'm afraid they're gonna put him in a movie and it's gonna. Okay. It makes too much sense.
Okay.
To like put
Especially
him in that movie.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, man.
It might. It makes sense with Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four does make sense. I can see him and Reed Richards. I can definitely see that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell y'all this. That book is right now is grossly undervalued.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But the thing of it is, and this is what I don't really understand, the print run on the whole series is extremely low.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why it was actually expensive when people really caught wind. But now, I guess since Adam Bashir showed up in a movie, it's kind of like dip. This is the perfect time to get that book.
And see, my thing is this. My best analogy for that book is a dry brush fire. All right. You know, like when it's dry and it's a lot of debris on the ground, if a spark happens, the whole entire forest goes.
Yep.
That's what that book is. That book is metaphorically really, really dry. It hasn't rained. And if they just hint at him in a movie, that book is going to go 3x. And that's what I'm afraid of because I got one, but that's one of them books that I want to have like 2 or 3 in my possession because
I got 2 of them.
I love the story, man. I got the whole set. I got the set for like $600. I got in on it kind of late. A friend of ours got it for $2. I seen another person sell a set raw for 900. So
Ooh. I bought the
Yeah.
first two off the rack when it first came out. Yeah, I'm old. But the other 3 issues, man, I got a guy named Kingdom Comics AOK me 3 through 5.
Shout out to Tito.
Yeah, shout out to Tito.
All right, Rico, I want to see what you got because you told me you were talking to me on the phone.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Remember, I told you I just got back in, so
Yeah, you hadn't even opened the boxes then.
Man, my stuff, but I got a few stuff around. So I'm gonna keep it light because I know Matt about to shut it down in a few minutes. So let me just keep mine light. So I got a few. So everybody knows I'm a big Blade fan. So I'm trying to finish this run. So this was one of my recent ones that came in. Hold on,
Okay.
Put it where your face is.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
There we go. So this is number 10. This is like 2 or 3 of these on the CGC census. So at one point, this is one of the hardest ones to get. So I'm glad to get that one added to try to finish that run. Speaking of low print runs, I'm like you. Every time I see this book, I grab it.
I need that book, man. That
Jesus.
Yeah, every single time.
Every time I see that, I probably got like 5 or 6 of these. If I see it, I grab. It's a good price. And I stole this one.
That's an excellent book, man. I need that to complete the run, but I'm gonna get it.
So love that book.
I'm gonna attempt to get the hardware one.
Yeah.
Find with your hardware.
Dang, I thought I had another book. This is another book I grabbed. I stole this one. Can't believe it. The most powerful one of the most powerful mutants, Manifold. First appearance.
Yes.
That's what's up.
Yeah, Manifold.
I wouldn't be surprised he show up in X-Men.
There's another book I thought I had. Oh well. I'll show that one next one. And of course the one we talked about today.
Yeah.
Man. I gotta get that now.
that was sneaky.
And last but not least, so everybody knows me. I'm probably the biggest Maury Turner fan on the planet. Like I was sharing earlier, I got into comic books by comic strips. So I'll pull some of these out. So my Maury Turner collection is officially goated. So these are some of the recent original art strips. These are all original art. These were all hand drawn. Maury Turner himself sat down and inked all of these. So here are a few of the ones that recently came in from We Pals.
Insanity.
So I got this one came in. This one came in. Pretty dope. This one came in. And I love when you see like the ink on the back. It's so crazy when you kind of see the ink on the back. It's crazy. So all of these are original art, hand drawn, inked by the man Maury Turner, the GOAT. So this is just one. I buy them in lots. So this is a recent lot that I purchased. Anybody out there trying to buy lots, if I see it, you're not gonna win. So don't even waste your time, money. I'm just trying to help y'all. I'm just trying to save you time and energy. Don't even waste. And last but not least, this is the man. This right here. If anybody that knows Maury Turner and know We Pals, on the weekends, primarily on Sundays, he would have a section in the strips called Soul Corner. And in the Soul Corner, what it would do is highlight a prominent and significant historical Black figure and just educate kids on their accomplishments. So what it would be like an illustration on the corner with like a little small bio. This is insane. So these are some of the actual hand-drawn illustrations of some of the Soul Corner illustrations that he drew.
Is that Sugar Ray?
That's Sugar Ray. This is one that has Deacon Jones, Willie Brown, Mel Blount, and Roosevelt Brown. These are all, and you can see all the ink, and I love when you see all the ink and the stuff in the back, all hand drawn. These are insane, y'all. I'm telling you, John. If anybody that used to read Wee Pals and you look forward for the Soul Corner, that was like the treat when you get to learn like a Black History moment. Like, and he always illustrate. Then you got the Rev just Jetton, the Great Book Coalition,
Operation Bread Basket.
Operation Bread Basket. I just broke my head gasket.
Yeah.
This has Doug Williams, Eric Dickerson, Charles. I don't know who that is. Charles Follis and Night Train. They got Night Train. He drew Night Train. What?
Nice.
And this I thought was dope. This one has Willie Sims, Gene Upshaw, Steve McNair, and I don't know who the guy is. Oh, Cheryl Miller. That's Cheryl Miller at the bottom. Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get these friends. So, Lady Hope, I'm actually I haven't really disclosed this, but I am working on a Maury Turner exhibit. And I'll be actually working with some of this one has Jim Rice, George Foster, and the market. I was waiting on my man to show up, man. Where you been?
You got the purple drink.
Follow, man. And then last but not least, this is the one with George Foster, Rod Carew. Okay, my bad. I'm looking at his hand. So this is the cool thing. He literally, like, not only did he draw these, he hand drew the names of the under it. Then he signed every single one, and then he's giving instructions on how he wants these to be sized when they Xerox them for the strip. This is insane. And then you see I love when you just see all the ink in the back. So this is the last one. So that's my haul I'm sticking with. That's all I got.
All right.
Nice.
That's some good stuff there, man.
Hey, Matt, really I don't think I sold this before because this was an ALK from Unruly. This was back in MegaCon. And I don't think I showed this on here, but this was a page original art.
Woo, that's nice.
Yeah, Black Panther.
That's nice.
Some
Sweet.
Fantastic Four.
That is nice.
I had 4 frames, but then this is long enough that it didn't fit the frames that I purchased. So I gotta get another different size frame. But yeah, shout out to Unruly Simeon for this original art.
Sweet. All right.
Well, y'all better get y'all popcorn. I'm gonna tell y'all right now. Y'all better get y'all popcorn right now.
We'll start this off with the Spanish version of Game of Death. Movie poster.
Wow.
Straight from Spain.
It is.
All right.
Yep.
We have a rare cover appearance of Josephine Baker.
Whoo, man.
Oh, that's what's up.
That's insane. That's insane.
We have a newsstand edition of Jet magazine.
Jet Mag.
With Vanessa Williams.
That's crazy.
Hey man, take a sneak peek at the beauty of the week.
For those who don't know, everybody should know by now. I know heroes don't know, but I'm a big Arsenal fan, and so I was thrilled to get this. This is the first Black player for Arsenal that ever score 100 goals, and so I have been wanting to get that for a minute. So I was glad that I was able to get that. Being an Arsenal fan. All right, Rico. This one of them for the knock socks off. I can hear it coming. I can hear it coming. So this is something that's super rare. And I got this recently. I acquired this. As my homeboy John say, if you're watching, procured recently. This is a
Oh my goodness. I already know now.
This is a flyer
That is insane.
for 1994 Step Show featuring Bernie Mac
Wow.
in 1994.
See, y'all, this is the kind of stuff Matt and I we're talking about when we start doing these shows on these heritage auctions, Christie's, Sotheby's. Man, we're gonna be showing some crazy gems.
We got some stuff coming for you, boy. When I say we got,
Ooh, man.
Matt about ready to team up with you, Rico, and join that museum.
Let's go.
and last but not least is one of my prized possessions. Well, not one of my prized possessions. I couldn't believe I got it. I was on the phone with Rico when I got it. I couldn't believe I got it. And when it came, I was like, man, it's crazy holding a piece of history in your hand. But this is a
yeah, I remember that. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's crazy.
Wow.
That's insane. That's insane.
with Mahalia Jackson.
That's insane.
This was one of her rare appearances of performing outside of the actual church.
That's insane.
My junior high school in New York was the Mahalia Jackson school.
Sweet. Mm-hmm. But this was at the Brooklyn Academy of Music.
Bruh, that's insane.
Yeah,
that's what's up, man.
That's insane.
That is my haul.
Man.
That is my haul. So yeah. If y'all want more stuff like that, man, y'all make sure that y'all stay locked in here when we announce this date, me and Rico, because we coming with the auction watch, and that'll be coming soon. Rico's seen the graphic already, so we coming. We ready to roll.
Ready to roll.
We ready to roll. So yep, we'll be doing that soon. So you make sure that y'all stay.
Be off for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we are off for 2 weeks, and then we'll be returning. And then we'll be on for a few weeks, and then guess what, y'all? We'll be off, and then it'll be time for Heroes Con. Yep. So get your the old folks say get your pocketbooks. Pocketbooks.
Pocketbooks ready.
Get your pocketbooks ready. So, yep. So Rico, once again, brother, thank you for dropping this knowledge, man. And as always, man, it's always a joy to do these shows, to learn something that you did not know. Every day is a day of learning. And Alex, Brad, I know he had to drop, man, but want to say thank y'all for coming through and enjoyed your company, man, and I always enjoy the fellowship. Good
Definitely,
brother.
man. Just want to say thanks for the invite, man. And me, Brad, and the Heroes Crew is always, looking forward to partnering with you guys, man. Every time I come on, it is a blast. It's fun. I'm always learning something, good conversation, and I can't wait to do it even more in the future, man. It's awesome.
Oh, and one last time, when we hit 1,000.
Yep.
When we hit 1,000.
Somebody Shannon for to go make 1,000 accounts.
Yo, I'm not even gonna front. Low key, I'm kind of mad. I'm on. I wish I was just viewing so I can put in for it.
Yeah.
Hey, we hit 1,000. Have it Comic Hall Crew do the random number.
Shoot.
The only name that shouldn't be in is mine. That's all I can.
There you go.
I'll take myself out because I have mine.
Yeah.
I'll take myself out of this. Somebody, I want Curtis to end up in the hands of somebody that really wants.
Man, I want to go to a good home, man. Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out. If you have not subscribed to, if you have not subscribed to Heroes After Dark, make sure that you do that. Also, Puff, what do you have coming up with VB?
We did a show yesterday. We talked Deep Red, Dario Argento film. We're taking another week off because ViennaCon is happening, so VB's going to attend that. And then when we come back, we're finally going to talk about the movie from the artist, from the actor who passed away earlier in the last month was Louis Gossett Jr. We're going to talk Enemy Mine.
Sweet. Also, Al, what do you have coming up this week with the X Factor, my friend?
We talking about episode 8.
Sweet.
Now, one thing I will say, if it depends on Larry, if we're gonna be off next week, then we may occupy that space with the X Factor. I gotta check with him. I don't know if he's in the chat or not, but if we get coordinated, we'll be talking about episode 8 on next Saturday. And Alex, if you're free, bro, you're welcome to join us, man. If not, we just wait to that season finale, however you want to play it, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Really?
The finale is for sure. I'm
Okay.
gonna make that work because I'm gonna have the Holy Spirit after that, bitch. I ain't even gonna front.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
No, you're
All
not
right.
gonna be speaking with tongues of clover and fire. No, bro.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for joining us once again. We appreciate you all. Like, share, subscribe. Once again, follow us. And we are out. Peace. Have a good night.
Yes, the X-Men have won, but only for now. Magneto is still out there, waiting, planning, plotting the destruction.